Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Long time no see. We haven't done a public live stream in 3 years.
Many moons ago.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
Hope all you guys are doing okay. It's been a weird 4 or 5 months, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We're all stuck at home. Everybody's miserable. Well, most everybody.
Yeah.
People like Tyler
Tyler's all
gallivanting all over the country.
Yeah, Tyler doesn't care.
Spreading disease.
Yeah. Tyler doesn't care.
Guys, this is very weird for us. We don't typically do live streams on public pages.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think a lot of people just think we chase goblins and pop up on Kindred Spirits once in a while.
Yeah.
But we're making like daily content. It's just for members of the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult.
We do a lot of live streams. You know, you would know if you were a museum member, but we do a lot of live streams.
We do.
We do
tons.
is what I
we
just
do.
said.
We do a
I
ton
said
of live
do.
streams, but we just haven't done them publicly in like 3 years. It's weird. I was talking to Tyler today, and I said the last live stream we did publicly was pre-Hellier.
That's very true. Pre-goblins.
Yeah,
I gotta say
pre-goblins.
though, when the music intro music was playing, I noticed that my dad was watching. So hey, Dad, and one of my nieces.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, niece. I don't want to say your names, but hi, family.
Oh, that's so crazy. We are broadcasting live right now on
The Weird HQ.
We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on 3 different Facebook pages. There's the Traveling Museum Facebook page, the Planet Weird Facebook page, the Week in Weird Facebook page. I think I'm doing this on my
your
private,
your public page.
my public private
all
page
the
too.
pages.
Crazy. Good Lord.
Anna says, I can't believe Dana hasn't made him shave yet. He's going for this.
Come on, look at this.
He's going for this Shakespearean villain energy. Really?
I just want to have a new facial hairstyle every time we do something different.
I made a joke at our last live stream. I made a joke that he needs to do starburns.
No.
You got to do the starburns.
I don't know.
Hello from Winnipeg, Canada. Where's everybody from? This is crazy. I love seeing where everyone's from.
This is crazy. We're here tonight because we wanted to catch up with everybody, and we wanted to, more importantly, tell you guys what's going on with Phenomenacon this weekend.
Yes.
Phenomenacon is the world's first online paranormal conference. We did it
Sorry to interrupt, but Emily says less Shakespearean, more Vegas magician.
I'll take Vegas Magician. That's fine. I don't mind that.
He's gonna freeze himself into a block of ice.
There's a little Gomez Adams.
A little bit.
Little Jack Parsons.
Little Jack Parsons.
Little Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
Little Shakespeare.
You gotta. What I think you need to do is add the starburns to the mustache.
Oh, gross.
And just be very, very conflicting and
Gross.
confusing.
Listen, you know what the facial hair is? There's so few things that I can control in my life right now
that's what you can
that I
control.
need to do something I can control, and that's my facial hair. I can change it quite a
Oh
bit.
my gosh! So we've got Western New Zealand.
Holy cow!
You're in
Well,
the
hey,
Shire.
James from New Zealand.
That's crazy. Scranton.
Look at that, crazy.
Little prom dommer.
It's Charming Satan, Greg.
Oh, okay.
I'll go with that too. That's fine.
Sure.
That's fine.
We got. Let me see. Well, Illinois.
Judy says hi from Dallas. Hey, we are here in
North Virginia.
beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio, just across the river, actually, in
Nice
Kentucky.
and musty and humid.
Yeah.
I don't know why Cincinnati is the way that it is. It's the weirdest thing. It is warm. I'm Canadian, as some of you might know.
No, you don't. I mean,
from
no,
Canada.
you don't say.
I'm originally from Canada. Somebody from Wales. I'm originally from Canada, and we've been living in Cincinnati for 7 years now. 7 years, and our first summer here was the worst experience of my life because it was so humid. I don't do well in humidity, and Cincinnati is humid. I like that
Jared.
I took you on that little segue.
Jared asked if we've obtained any new interesting things for the museum.
Yes.
It never stops. In fact, Dana's furious at me because most of the house is untraversable.
I know.
Because of the amount of boxes of weird things.
We're like haunted collector hoarders right now.
Haunted hoarders.
Haunted hoarders.
That'll be the new show everyone will pitch us in what, a month?
Yeah,
That's
Jasmine
about-
says
about
she's
the
from
time.
Somerset.
Oh, my goodness.
Somerset, UK or Kentucky? Although there's many Somersets, I guess.
Look at that.
Indiana,
Oh, a lot of people talking about Hellier.
Hellier.
Oh, man.
Hellier.
Listen, I know we don't do these things very often, so
That's
I know
true.
that every time we do something that's public like this, people sort of have the opinion that, like, you know, people see us pop up when a new season of Hellier comes out. They see us on Kindred Spirits usually once or twice a season, and then at events around the country. But we are very active. We're just very active in the museum.
Our museum members are very sick of us.
I hope not. Please don't be sick of us, museum members.
We're up in their faces all the time. They're just like, come on. Come on. You guys are needy. We're like, please.
This guy looks like he used to sell me busted used cars. Listen, you don't know how close to the truth you are. My dad was a minister and a used car salesman.
Yeah,
Put
so
that
you've
one
got both-
together.
You've got both of that.
So I have both of that in my
Both.
DNA.
John says Hellier season 3.
Well, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that tonight.
We'll talk a little bit about that.
Maybe. But what we're here to talk about,
Yes.
Phenomenacon.
Sorry, I took you on a very strange segue. and
That's
we
fine.
just kept
This is fun because I want to talk to everybody. We don't do these things.
I know.
Doug says he just joined the museum in the last week or so.
Yay!
Welcome, Doug. You're going to have fun. I promise.
Yes, we do have, and I should say this for the record, we do have over at this point 3 years of live investigations.
Magic of the Month classes.
Yes.
Dana teaches classes on magic.
I can't believe we've been doing this for over 3 years now, but we do have 3 years of live investigations just waiting for you to binge watch. So Doug, make sure that you check out the video section in the Secret Club group, because there's, again, 3 years of crazy investigations. Some of them Hellier related if you're a Hellier fan.
Pander Sarah says our energies are fun and welcoming.
Yay!
Thanks.
It's all fake.
We're just turning it on
assholes.
for this because we've been spending 5-6 months in sweatpants. But then again, who hasn't?
Greg really, and I said no to this.
Dana said no, but man, this would have been fantastic.
Maybe we'll have to do it for our next live stream. But Greg was going to do the whole thing without pants on, and then at the end,
I was going to stand
that
up
he
and
clicked
walk
out.
out.
Like, stood up.
And it'd just be my hairy thighs.
Just his little legs sticking up from
That
the
would have
suit
been so
jacket.
funny.
Maybe next time.
Dana,
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
These lights were making my eyes water.
Jen said, how long did it take to do your makeup tonight? It took 5 minutes. Dana did it for me.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We've upgraded our equipment
Yes.
recently. And so it's we have to wear makeup.
We upgraded our equipment maybe 2 weeks ago, and we got some professional lights, and Greg was like, hey, come in here, I want you to check out these lights. And I was like, okay. And I sat down, and the camera obviously is filming me, thankfully not live to anyone, and I looked at my face under the professional lights without any makeup on, and I was literally like, this is horrifying. So welcome to all the pores on my face, and welcome to Greg's perfect skin. So
It's not perfect
that's
at
what-
all.
I thought the lights were supposed to like make you glow, not make you look like a corpse. So there's a lot of makeup going on tonight.
Ren asked, how do we join the club?
How do
Well,
you join the museum members club?
We have what we call the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult membership. And what it does is...
There's a lot of museum members in the chat
There's
right
a
now.
ton in here right now.
I see a lot of museum members representing. Thank you, fam.
And the way it works is it's just a Patreon subscription. And what it does, it helps us keep a roof over our heads and feed our cats.
Yes.
But we also do all kinds of fun stuff that supports the museum work. So for those of you who don't know, by the way, if you
Yes.
only know us from Hellier
That's
or you only
true,
know us
actually.
from Kindred Spirits, Dana and I run the world's only mobile museum of the unexplained. It's the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult. Normally, in pre-COVID times, we would be traveling across the country, sometimes internationally, with hundreds of strange objects, haunted objects, old curses, things that are significant to supernatural and paranormal history.
Yeah,
And
lots of really fun stuff. We try to mix it up and bring things. We bring things that we believe kind of represent paranormal phenomena as a whole, kind of all from all sides of the spectrum.
And what we do is we bring this to people because there's a lot of people who don't have the opportunity to interact with this stuff, particularly on a hands-on basis. So we travel the world with this stuff, and we have this great pop-up tent and special lighting and all this kind of stuff, and we show people weird stuff. And it's kind of a bit of a Trojan horse approach because I think people see us and they think, oh, they're kind of like Ed and Lorraine Warren. Couldn't be further from the truth. And we sort of ask, why are you scared of these things? It's a curiosity over fear is kind of the thing. So one of the things that we did is we noticed there were a lot of people who wanted to know more about what we do and know more about the type of things that we preserve and protect. And so we started the museum membership program. And what that does is it helps us, but it gives access to tons and tons of exclusive artifact archives, evidence videos that we have with stuff, live investigations. We've done live investigations every year at Waverly Hills. We've gone Bigfoot hunting. We've sent our friends like Tyler Bigfoot hunting. We brought Carl Bigfoot hunting. We've done live. Some of the stuff you see in season 2 of Hellier was actually live with the museum members.
That's very true.
So they lived it like a full 6 months to a year before it was even out.
We try to, and we can go to, amazing paranormally haunted places. So we've investigated Waverly Hills live. We investigate as many different types of places as we possibly can. And we do a lot of other fun things, kind of like this. Like we do a lot of live streams. We do game nights. We drag our friends into long-winded conversations.
Do live screenings.
We do.
We have a book club. We read paranormal books and discuss them and then bring the authors in and talk to them.
Yeah.
It's all kinds of that kind of stuff. And it helps us. And especially right now.
Crazy.
From going crazy. Normally, we'd be on the road. And so us and a lot of our friends who make a living the way that we do, they're kind of SOL right now.
Yeah, so. I mean, a lot of you guys probably, I know that many of you, we've probably met at investigations or at events, whether they were Strange Escapes or, whatever events we've been going to over the past couple of years. A lot of you we've met at those events. So you guys know as much as we know that the event scene is pretty quiet right now.
Pretty quiet.
And a lot of that paranormal travel is not really happening.
One of the biggest things that we've been doing for members of the museum is we have been doing Phenomenacon every 6 months since the what do we got here?
We got a troll.
What are you looking at?
We got a first troll. I don't know where it was.
I love it. George Waring. Oh, Lord.
Thanks, George.
One of the things that we do is we do Phenomenacon. And Phenomenacon is the world's first online paranormal conference. We started it back in May, and it's a way that... everybody's stuck at home now. All of our events have been canceled for 2020. Some of them postponed far into 2021. And so we wanted to bring that feeling to, we wanted to bring that online so that people can still have that kind of conference experience. They can still have lectures, attend lectures by some of the brightest minds in the paranormal.
It's been really fun too, and it's a cool experience to be able to kind of recreate what a lot of us are kind of familiar with, but in an online setting, so that people who just can't travel, maybe even before COVID, get the chance to experience what a paranormal convention is kind of like. It's been really cool to be able to, invite people that we really love and that are some of the greatest kind of lecturers on the subject matter. So, this is going to be the second go-round, Phenomenacon 2.
The second go-round, Phenomenacon 2.
Yeah.
It's going to be a blast. We wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that tonight. Actually, while we're doing this, check this out. I got a whole thing for it. Oh, look at that.
Oh, no, there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Let's talk about Phenomenacon. Let's talk about what's going to happen.
Did we fully explain how we joined the club?
Oh,
we did, right? We went off on a tangent. Sorry.
Here's how you join the
That'll
club.
Happen.
Let me share this with you guys.
That'll happen.
If you guys,
I know a lot of museum members have been posting the link in the comment section.
If you go to HTTP.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to read all of your questions.
There's too much.
Dominic's screaming, "How do I join?" That's another thing we do quite often is go on crazy sidetracks.
If you go down to in the comments there, Patreon.com/paramuseum. That'll give you all the details, everything you need to know. Dana also has it's sold out right now.
It is.
But there's a subscription package Dana does where she sends you a live, a custom ritual.
Yeah, I do a monthly subscription box called Magic of the Month. And it is essentially, I've been practicing magic for over 20 years at this point. And so what I do is I handcraft every goodie that goes into each one of the Magic of the Month packages. And I create a ritual around a lot of the packages or a lot of the goodies that you get in the package. And so we kind of tapped out right now, but hopefully I'll be opening it up again in the next couple of months as we kind of progress. But yeah, if you're interested in learning magic, it's fun because we've got a lot of people who are newbies, people who've never really practiced magic or witchcraft before. But we have a lot of people who've been practicing for years and years. And so I kind of try to tailor them in a way that is easy to change and add to if you want to. But also you can kind of take it and really just run with it. So
unfortunately, the subscription box does not go to Canada.
It doesn't go to Canada. I'm so sorry,
Not
Canada.
right
Here's
now.
the thing. I'm trying really hard. But there's a lot of explosive things for obvious reasons. There's a lot of charcoals and all that kind of good stuff, and there are a lot of weird laws about shipping
That's
explosive things.
Yeah.
But again, I know we have a lot of international people, and like being obviously Canadian, I would love to be able to send goodies to Canada.
Is there?
Oh, and I do. That's true. Melissa reminded me. I do a lot of guided meditations for the museum, and we do a live class quite often.
Seeing a ton of questions about HELLIER.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll have a night where we discuss more about that.
We should do that.
There's going to be a few things in Phenomenacon. If you're curious about HELLIER and you're curious about where a potential season 3 might go, some of the research threads that we're working on, you definitely want to attend Phenomenacon. We have a few speakers that are going to be talking a lot about
very true.
some of the lingering questions from HELLIER, particularly season 2. If you're curious about some of the stuff about Thelema, if you're curious about some of the magic ritual stuff, you're gonna really dig it. I think and Somerset too. There's a lot of weird stuff about Somerset. You're gonna learn quite a bit about all of that.
How do you read all these comments?
Karen said season 3. Potential season 3.
Oh, Way says, what about mutton chops, Greg?
We could do mutton chop. Maybe that's what we should do. We should have a new thing where people vote.
He could do mutton chops on one side, Starburns on the other.
Are y'all a little concerned about QAnon latching on to the conspiracy angles prevalent in HELLIER? Lord Almighty, I basically will immediately ignore any email we get that mentions the word cabal. Done. I think what that shows is people didn't understand HELLIER. That's my personal opinion. There's weird stuff going on, but it's not what the QAnon folks think it is, unfortunately, for them.
Joan says, Dana, what kind of magic do you practice? I've having practiced magic for over 20 years, I've practiced a lot of different kinds of magic. And at this point, I sort of refer to myself as a hedge witch. I'm a solitary practitioner, so I don't work with a coven. And I'm open to practicing magic, and I have practiced magic with a lot of my friends. But for the most part, I pretty much identify as a hedge witch, which, there's lots of different versions of what that can mean for a lot of people. But I work with a lot of natural elements and the cycles of nature. And I don't know where I'm going with that. That's pretty much it. Practice. I like to dance around with trees.
What is this? Someone said I should try just a soul patch.
Oh, that's been done.
Done it when I was a teenager.
That's been done.
It's horrible. Will Phenomenacon be virtual? It is entirely virtual.
Yes.
It's unsafe to do a lot of that stuff. A lot of places they won't let you do more than 50 people in a room.
You don't want Tyler
6 feet
Strand
apart.
breathing on you right
No.
now.
So it is entirely virtual, which is great. There's no VIP tickets. There's no worry about where you're going to sit. You always have the best seat in the house. And the best part is this time around, we didn't do this the first time, but this time around, all of the presentations are going to be live for 16 hours. So for our friends who live overseas, or if you got a day job and you're not able to make it on like Friday afternoon, you can always go back for 16 hours after the end of the day and watch what you missed, or rewatch something you want to get a better look at.
That's very true. We have a lot of museum members who are in the UK or Australia or even New Zealand and Germany, and I know a lot of peeps that they wanted the chance to not have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and watch Phenomenacon.
Tanino asks, Greg, do you practice magic on your own too? A little bit, yeah. I don't really talk about it as much. That's
Greg's like, I don't need to brag about that.
No, I think I'm not going to get into it. But yes, I do a little bit. More so now. Season 2 of Hellier ended in a really interesting way and changed a lot of my views on things. So, yeah. All right, here we go. Let's talk about Phenomenacon.
Let's do it.
Check this out, guys. Phenomenacon is happening on September 18th. That's this Friday at 4 o'clock. It kicks off. And it goes until Sunday, probably till whenever we decide to end it. It's going to be after midnight, probably. We have a few special after-hours things that we're going to be doing. Phenomenacon is the world's first online paranormal conference. It has some of the biggest names from some of your favorite shows on things like Travel Channel. It's got parapsychologists from all over the world, ritual magicians. It's got tarot professionals. It's got folklorists. There's a little bit of everything, something for everybody there. And there's even going to be live music, which is crazy.
Yeah.
By one of my favorite bands. I'm so super excited about it.
Who doesn't love doo-wop and Satan?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of people. Now the QAnon people are getting real worked up.
Damn it.
Way to go, Dana. Phenomenacon is going to take place this weekend. Look at who we've got. We've got Dr. Dean Radin from the Institute of Noetic Sciences. Dean Radin just wrote a great book called Real Magic, which is fantastic. And it's about some of the actual scientific research that's going into things like magic and prayer and the power of our minds and intention. And it is actual scientific research. It's awesome. I'm so excited. We're going to have Dean Radin with us. We're going to have Amy Bruni and Adam Berry from Kindred Spirits, our very good friends.
Amy Bruni, Adam Berry.
They're
doing separate lectures.
They're doing separate
them together,
lectures.
But they are, they're doing separate lectures.
Hey, I am very excited because usually when Amy and Adam are at an event,
I know it's a lot.
I think people
wants them to do Q&A.
They just do a Q&A and they get to answer the same questions that they're asked all the time, which are fine questions, and I know people want to ask them. But it's great to let them have the opportunity where they can actually give a presentation and talk about the stuff that they're really good at.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome to kind of get to see what aspects of paranormal research they each really kind of embody, which I think is amazing, and I love it so much.
We're gonna have,
even though that sounded really, really monotone. I love it so much. A little vocal fry there. I'm sorry. I actually do love it so much.
We're going to have Laura T. Zakroff. She is the author of Sigil Witchery, which is a really fantastic book that gives you new ideas and new concepts to implement in creating magic sigils. She's going to actually have a little workshop, and we're going to do a sigil together.
Yay.
Michelle Ballinger's coming back. She was absolute hit at the first one, and we had to ask her to come back. She talked about demonology at the first one.
Yeah.
And some of the things you don't understand or know about demonology. It's not really just some exorcist dude coming in to drive your demons out.
Yeah. We brought in the big guns.
We brought in the big guns.
The big guns of knowledge.
Michelle Ballinger.
I'm sure Michelle loves to be referred to as the big guns.
The big guns. Somebody asked, how much is Phenomenacon going to be? It's $15 for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
You'll never get a conference like this for $15. And
oh, go ahead. Wow. That was in stereo for everybody. And basically what you're doing is the $15 is the admission for the museum membership. And so you're going to get to experience all of the craziness that is being a museum member for at least a month if you want.
Yeah.
So stick around. If you join and you're not really sure about it, but you're just here for the conference, stick around. Watch some old live streams.
Stick around to the end of the month.
Watch some new live streams. Just hang out with us for a month. And if you think that we're gross and annoying, then you can leave.
Either way, it's a heck of a deal. $15 for 3 days, over 40 hours of content, stuff you're not going to see or get anywhere else.
There's so many workshops. Like, you're just going to learn. We're going to have so much fun.
Yeah. And then you got 2 extra weeks. You can go through the archives. You can read about all kinds of crazy stuff that we've been doing. You can watch old investigations we've been doing, take part in new live investigations, screenings, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, it's super fun.
We've also
I
got...
did that again. It's super fun.
We've also got Dr. Andrea Kidda. She is a folklorist, and she is the author of a book called Kiss of Death. Kiss of Death is a really, really fascinating book about the spread of disinformation about things like vaccinations and things like that. Very timely type stuff.
Yes.
But it's about how that spreads like folklore and how folklore about that type of stuff spreads. But she's going to be coming and talking about Slender Man.
Which I think is fascinating, considering that Slender Man, obviously, you know, we've talked about this in the museum with museum members, but Slender Man's origin is internet creepypasta. And I mean, the fact that so many things have happened outside of the internet, including, you know, kids starting cults and trying to kill each other, like, it's craziness. So it's going to be really interesting to hear how she breaks that down from an academic perspective. I think would be really, really interesting.
Our very good friend Katie Webb is going to be joining us. You might know Katie from the web series Haunt Me. We've done a ton of stuff with her. She is one of the most interesting people in the paranormal field.
The name of Katie's lecture is literally my favorite thing on the planet.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Katie's out there somewhere, I think.
Katie's going to be talking to us all about tarot. How to use tarot. Yes. And how to use tarot specifically to augment your intuition. It's going to be great.
Intuition.
I'm very, very excited about that one.
She's going to kill it.
I'm also very excited about Dr. Kieran O'Keefe. Yeah. If anyone watched Most Haunted back in the day, you know Kieran.
So my Aunt Shelley and I were really big Most Haunted fans for a summer. We watched it. We watched it for an entire summer, like every single night, and it was our jam, big time. So I have watched me some Most Haunted, but Dr. Kieran O'Keefe is actually a parapsychologist, so he is also the big guns of knowledge, as I have decided to name people, smart people.
We're also going to have Shannon Taggart. Shannon Taggart put out a really amazing book last year called Seance, and it's all about, I think she spent like 8 years embedded in different spiritualist communities around the country, searching for photographs of ectoplasm. Yeah. It is such a fantastic book. It's a staple of our coffee table.
Yeah, if you are a big fan of like the spiritualist movement or just creepy stuff in general, and you're looking to get yourself a awesome coffee table book, I would suggest that one, because it is not only is beautiful, but people are obsessed with it. Like, everybody looks through it when they come to our house, so I can't say I love it.
We're having John Tenney.
And
of course, we're having
the
John Tenney.
Tenster.
Everyone's weird uncle.
The Tenster.
Not like sexually weird uncle.
No.
I mean, maybe.
We could.
We don't judge.
If you're into that.
That's fine.
If he's into that.
If he's into that, if you're into that.
We don't judge.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's weird uncle.
As long as there's consent, that's the only thing that matters.
Everybody's weird uncle John E.L. Tenney is joining us.
He's like my weird older brother, though.
He kind of is.
Yeah.
He's not much like an uncle anymore.
No, but
not for us.
No, because he just tries. His goal in life is just to gross me out as much as humanly possible, and he usually is good at that. He talks to me about a lot of holes. Put it that way.
You're probably not going to hear that.
No,
in
he's not
his
gonna.
lecture.
He's not gonna talk about. Well, he could talk about.
Maybe
holes.
he will.
I
We never know what he's going to talk about.
Yeah, he can.
That's
talk
the
about
best part
whatever
about Tenney's lectures.
That's the funniest part about if you've ever been to a Strange Escapes event and you see what Amy Bruni will write on the Strange Escapes itinerary for John Tenney. It's basically just whatever he wants to talk about.
Yes.
There's no names. It's just whatever he wants to talk about. So we're gonna steal that and just say the same thing.
Yeah, Tenney's gonna come and he's gonna give one of his signature weird lectures. If you've never had the opportunity to see one, this is a fantastic opportunity because they will change the way that you think about weird stuff. Yes. Tenney will make you realize why what you think is weird is weirder than you think.
It's weirder.
And he does it all off the cuff. That's the greatest part. So, we'll see. We'll see what he has to say, but it's going to be great. We're also having Dr. Eric Wargo. Eric Wargo wrote a book called Time Loops, which is fantastic. It's all about retro causality and about how sometimes we can probably kick things backwards in time just as we're kicking things forward in time. It is a fascinating book, but he's going to come and he's talking about precognitive dreams. That's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do
you know what it is? It's you sell it and then after we always feel the need to like tack on it. It's gonna be
well. The reason is because I look at the chat to see what everybody's talking about, and it breaks my brain, and then I have to like try and keep talking and fill that awkward silence.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Time Loops is a fantastic book, and as a little hint, I think you might see some of that discussion in potential future seasons of Hellier. There's some weird stuff.
I'm gonna open this
about that.
Just hear ASMR. We did this for museum members the last time. Gross. It's so gross. Stop.
We're also going to have Marco Visconti. Marco Visconti is going to talk a lot about some of the stuff in Hellier that left us with questions at the end of it. Marco is I'm
really, really excited about
I am too. If you had questions at the end of Hellier...
I mean, who didn't?
Who didn't? We had questions
Magical
at the end of Hellier.
questions.
You guys don't want to miss Marco's talk. Yeah. He is talking... We're going to get to all the topics of the lectures and stuff like that, but he's talking about some of the more complex thelemic ideas that are covered in Hellier.
He's gonna break our brains, I think.
He's gonna break our brains.
And scare us.
We're also going to have Linda Godfrey.
Yay!
Linda Godfrey is like one of the most prolific monster hunters in the country.
She's such an OG. Like she's such a badass. I love her so much.
I love Linda. She's written some of the best books. If you know about the Beast of Bray Road, it's because of Linda.
Yeah.
Linda was the original newspaper reporter who started chasing down all of these sightings of the strange dogman creature people were seeing, and she wrote a book about it, and then from there branched off into all kinds of other stuff. So she's going to come and she's going to talk about some of the, when people talk about cryptozoology, they talk about flesh and blood creatures mostly.
Yeah.
We're very much like Bigfoot's a ghost type people.
Yeah. I saw someone say that. Greg, do you believe Bigfoot's a ghost?
Bigfoot is a ghost.
I don't know who it was, but I saw you out there.
Linda's going to come and she's going to talk about some of the stranger supernatural cryptozoological sightings of monsters. We also have Nathan Isaac. If you watched season 2 of Hellier, you probably will remember Nathan. We met him in Somerset, and he was who started to corroborate some of the scarier stuff we were hearing about the town.
He made us very frightened.
I think we scared each other.
Very afraid.
And he's going to come and he's going to scare everybody all over again.
Yeah,
he's the host of the forthcoming Pennyroyal podcast, which is going to be amazing. I've had some sneak peeks at some of the research they've been doing for the podcast. It is all about the magic and mystery of place, and it's going to make you probably filled with wonder and very scared of Kentucky.
Yeah.
If Hellier didn't do that already,
very filled with
Nate's gonna
wonder
do it.
and fear.
And then I don't know who this asshole is, but he's going to be your MC for the weekend.
He's like the good version of you because you have the mustache.
That's true. Oh, good Lord. And we also have some short films playing.
Yay.
We're going to talk about some of that. And a special performance by Twin Temple.
Greg is very excited about this.
I am very excited about it.
Tell.
I can't believe that we have Twin Temple.
Greg is one of the funny things about Greg, if you haven't noticed, is that he is the king of vocal inflection.
I do like vocal
inflection. He loves vocal inflection. And we usually rate the vocal inflection on a scale of what, 1 to 10? I think you're at like a 7 right now. 7.5 on the vocal inflection scale.
Can't help it. Sorry.
Your real inflection.
Let's go over the schedule. You want to talk about the schedule?
Yeah.
This is how it works. Phenomenacon, it's $15 for 3 days.
Yep.
So it's the cheapest conference ticket you'll ever buy, especially for the type of presentations that you're going to get. It's 40+ hours of content. You join the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult Patreon, and that's your ticket. So if you're already a member of the museum, you already have a ticket.
Yes.
It's just one of the perks to say thank you for supporting us, especially through the pandemic.
The other thing, too, is, like I said, there are 3 years of live investigations that are sitting for you to kind of binge, and we'll be doing other well, we may, I don't know, we'll be doing lots of live streams throughout the rest of the month. So
Yeah.
if you do join, stick around and see if you like it.
Yeah, you still got two weeks.
Oh, that's the funny thing too. So I think it went by so fast, but someone mentioned, Sarah says $200 book budget minimum for Phenomenacon, because everyone's books are so good, so it just ends up everyone buys books.
Yeah, you will walk away with I mean, that's the other thing.
At least you'll want to.
Every single speaker has a digital merch table, and they have cool stuff. And I know some of them are giving discounts. Some of them are having special stuff available.
Yes.
You'll be able to walk away with their books. You'll be able to walk away with.
We're doing virtual merch table.
Yeah, virtual merch table. We want everyone to have the conference experience.
Can we call it Virch merch? I think we should call it Virch merch.
So yeah, if you join, you get 2 extra weeks. You can hang out in the museum. If you don't dig it, you don't have to stick around after that. But it's $15. It's more content than you can shake a tin can at.
Exactly.
We're kicking things off at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock on Friday is when things are kicking off. 4 o'clock Eastern. 4 o'clock Eastern.
But again, the live stream, the days will be staying up for what you said, 16 hours.
16 hours. So the
case
next
you
day
missed
at
something.
4 is when the old one goes away. You can't watch it after that, just so nobody gets confused.
Yeah, and the reason unfortunately, the reason that they can't stay up permanently is that, each person that is speaking at the event, it's their intellectual property. So we don't want to kind of steal it from them, because, they're probably going to want to give those lectures somewhere else too.
Yeah. So we're starting at 4. I'm just going to jump in, give you guys a bit of introduction on how the day is going to work, and then we're going to jump right into it with Andrea Kidda. She's talking about Slender Man, the academic study of folklore, the supernatural, and
It's gonna
you.
be a real creepy one.
I'm very excited for Andrea. I'm excited for everything. We haven't announced this anywhere publicly yet. This is the first public announcement of this.
Oh my God, that's true.
Anthony Sistone, who did all of the music for Hellier. One of the things that always stuck out to people is the soundtrack. Hellier soundtrack is amazing, and that is all Anthony Sistone. He put together some special performances of the music from Hellier, so that you'll be able to actually see him play it. There might be some different versions of some of the songs. It's going to be really cool. So he's going to come and present some Hellier music for us.
That's really cool. I'm really excited about that.
Then we're going to talk to Dr. Dean Radin. He's going to talk to everybody about real magic, ancient wisdom, modern science, and a guide to the secret power of the universe. He is going to blow your mind. Mm-hmm. Then we have a screening of SWAN Song of the Skunk Ape, directed by Brad Abrahams. If you've seen the documentary Love and Saucers, which you should if you haven't, this is a film by the director of Love and Saucers, and it's all about skunk ape researchers in Florida. I think you'll really dig it. Then we've got Linda Godfrey. Perfect lead-in to Linda Godfrey.
Exactly.
She's going to talk about an otherworldly exploration of Bigfoots, wolfmen, portals, phantoms, and more.
That's so awesome.
After Linda, we have some short films by Ronnie Thomas from the Midnight Archive. Ronnie Thomas is a fantastic filmmaker, and he's done a lot of stuff with the strange and the unusual. So some of the things that you're going to see actually relate to some of the speakers. In Phenomenacon 1, we had our friend Calvin Von Crush, the occult collector, show off some of his amazing collection of old spiritualist devices.
He showed us all of the amazing creepy stuff that he's been collecting. And,
we had
all of it.
A film by Robbie Thomas led us into that. And just like that, one of Robbie Thomas' films is going to lead us into Shannon Taggart. And she's going to talk about invisible worlds, spiritualism, photography, and the search for ectoplasm. Her photography is absolutely beautiful, and she has some really fascinating insight into the world of spiritualism after embedding in that community for years and years. 8 years, I think. No, 18. I was wrong. 18-year body of work.
That's amazing.
That went into that. Really crazy. Then we've got Michelle Ballinger.
Is she capping off night 1?
She is capping off night 1. We gave her one of the longer speaking slots because once Michelle gets going, you don't ever want her to stop.
No.
Michelle is going to talk about the hidden history of the occult, what they never told you about famous figures. So famous historical figures who spoke to the dead, who practiced magic.
That's so amazing.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then we have a special surprise, an after-hours surprise.
Yeah, we didn't do this the first Phenomenacon.
We didn't the first
but
time.
We're going to do like a after the event little party.
Yes.
And
so,
again, it's all online.
One of the things everybody wanted was after each night of Phenomenacon, everybody kind of wanted a way to hang out and chill out. So we're doing that this time. At around midnight-ish, maybe 12:15 or so, we'll have another stream. It's not going to be one that's saved, so if you miss it, you miss it. And it's just going to be some fun stuff that we've planned where we can all hang out and have a good time and just do something that's kind of off the cuff and wind down from a busy day of conventions. It's kind of like, at any paranormal convention you go to, everybody gathers at the bar later.
Yeah, you have to decompress.
Same kind of thing.
It's a lot of information coming at you.
Same kind of thing. That's day one. Second day, we've got Dr. Eric Wargo, and he's going to be presenting messages from the future, working with precognition and dreams and waking life. You're going to love it. It's all about retro causation and retrocausality and the idea that we can probably catch glimpses of the future if we know what we're looking for.
So exciting.
He has some interesting ideas on HELLIER, too, which I'd love to talk to him more about sometime. That'd be kind of a fun discussion. Maybe we can do that as like a museum member thing, where we can
Ooh, yes.
invite Eric to come and talk about some of his research and what he thinks is going on in HELLIER. Yeah. Very interesting.
Sarah actually made a good point that I didn't think about, but it's also pants optional because you're at
It
home.
is.
So you don't have to wear pants.
It's the only conference that's pants optional.
You don't have to wear any pants if you don't want to. That is a tagline.
I almost didn't wear pants to this.
I know.
After that, we have a screening of We Come in Peace by Ryan Abel. It is a really fun little short documentary about the storming of Area 51 last September.
Cute.
It's crazy that was a year ago
I
already.
know.
Insane. But he's a photographer, and he took photographs and portraits of people who were storming Area 51 and asked them why they were there and what sort of effect the idea of life from outer space has on them.
That's really cool.
What they think people are hiding. There's a lot of really interesting characters in there. After that, we've got Dr. Kieran O'Keefe.
Yeah.
He's going to come and he's going to talk to us about what it's like to be an actual parapsychologist. That's one of the things that people, they don't understand is I think they think that a lot of what they see on television is indicative of scientific research for the paranormal and the supernatural, and it is absolutely not.
The name of his lecture is amazing. Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters reference. I love that. That's awesome.
He's going to be talking about what it's like to be an actual parapsychologist. What kind of stuff goes into actually researching the paranormal and researching, trying to prove the supernatural through the scientific lens.
That's so cool.
Yeah, a lot different than it is on television. After Kieran, we have Prefigured.
This short film gave me nightmares.
This is from our friends, the SHANNON, and Carl and I saw it. We were at a film festival. We were at the why can't I think of the name? Midwest Weird Fest was where we were at. The film festival, amazing film festival, supporting HELLIER. And while we were watching the screenings, this one came on, and I remember turning to Carl. We both were like, holy shit, I want to see this. I want to see the full version of this. And I think you will too. It's one of the best short films about alien abduction I've ever seen, and sort of the spiritual aspect that I think a lot of people miss about what an abduction experience is really like.
You'll have a full-on nightmare.
Yeah.
It's real scary one. That's a real scary one.
After that, we have Nathan Isaac, the host of the Penny Royal podcast. You saw him in season 2 of HELLIER. He's giving a lecture titled Cults, Crowley, and Cybernetics, exploring the information theory and occult synchronicity. This is another one that's going to blow your mind and make you think completely differently about things like folklore and about things like magic and about how it might work. And it'll give you new ideas on the idea of how magic works. Yeah. I'm really excited about this one. You're going to love it. And then following him up, we have Twin Temple.
Yay!
If you've never heard Twin Temple before, give them a Google.
Yeah.
Go listen to them.
That sounded dirty.
You are going to really dig it. If you, I don't want to, I hate describing things by comparing them to something else because I know that that's really frustrating for artists.
Yeah.
But imagine if, but I'm going to do it anyway. Imagine if Amy Winehouse was a satanic witch.
Yeah.
And you have Twin Temple.
Yeah.
And they absolutely wail. And they're doing some special performances that are a little stripped back that I think you guys are going to love. And they even added a ritual in the middle of it.
Yeah, so we said this, we did a live stream last week and we talked about Twin Temple just for museum members. But if you're not, if you're a little squeamish for some, spooky stuff, you might want to, pause on this one. Take a little half an hour break and come back afterwards. But it will be really fun, and they're really wonderful, and they're very tongue in cheek and very incredibly talented and amazing. So most of you will have a really great time experiencing Twin Temple.
Yeah,
I think there's actually a lot of Twin Temple fans out there.
If your spiritual sensibilities are delicate, maybe tune out for that.
If
one.
you don't like crooner songs about Satan, you might not.
You might not
listen to Twin Temple.
Victoria asked, anyone know where to listen to the Penny Royals podcast? It's not out yet.
Not out yet.
It'll be out next month, and Nate will tell you all about it at Phenomenacon.
Yes.
Following up Twin Temple,
Adam Berry,
our friend Adam Berry.
He's so psyched for this.
Adam has had one of the most interesting journeys of anyone I know in the paranormal.
For real, I don't think legitimately there's been anyone who's experienced the kind of trajectory that Adam has, because it's so unique and different. I don't know many people who've gone from having a ghost hunting team in their hometown or in the town that they live to a couple years later being the executive producer of a television series.
Crazy.
It's an amazing thing to see. I love it.
And he wouldn't have gotten there if he wasn't really good at team building.
Yeah. Yeah. Adam is a Pisces. He's very good at making sure that, he's good at moderating, I think is the best way to put it.
He really, really is. Adam is one of our favorite people, and we're so excited that we have him for Phenomenacon. He's always, if you've been to other paranormal conferences and you've seen Adam at those other paranormal conferences, you'll know that he's always the life of the party. I don't expect this to be any different.
Nope.
And I'm very, very happy that he's with us
so
for this
excited.
one. I think you guys are going to love it. Following Adam, we have Laura Tempest Zakroff, the author of Sigil Witchery. And she is going to be doing sort of a Sigil Witchery 101.
It's kind of a work. I mean, it's a workshop, essentially.
It's a workshop. We're all going to be making a sigil together.
Yeah. If you've never practiced sigil craft before and it's something that you're interested in, it's a really good way for anybody who's just wanting to dip their toes. Oh my God, Adam Berry's in there.
Pause on that. Adam says he's changing his talk. He's talking about drunk moments with Dana and Greg, an exploration of the crazy shit.
Oh boy.
We've had many of those. We've had many discussions that we probably cannot repeat out loud. So don't do that, Adam.
Yep. Well, I mean, Adam, it's only going to be up there for 16 hours, so you can do it, but
That's true.
We'll have to delete it. We'll have to
true.
delete it right away. All the Australians and Europeans are going to be like, where did the stream go? And we'll have to cut Adam's bit out of the middle. But yeah, if you're interested in dipping your toes into magic, sigil craft is a really good way to start.
Yeah. Laura has a really fantastic way of doing sigils that's very unique. And the way that she works imagery into it, because most of the time people know the really basic chaos magic method. But she has a really unique method that she's going to go over. Yeah. And by the time...
And her art is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Unbelievably beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. So by the time that's over, you're definitely going to want to
be
Sigil Witchery.
making sigils
it's on our shelf.
yourself.
We definitely have taken it to heart. We use her method too. You're going to love it. Let's see what else we got here. After that, we haven't announced this yet either. This is a brand new thing. We're gonna have a live episode commentary of Hellier, maybe an episode or two with the gang.
I'm actually really excited about this because having all of us there's so much behind the scenes stuff that we I mean, probably have forgotten it yet to even talk about. So it's going to be fun to watch it with everybody. And Tyler, that's going to be fun, is having to moderate Tyler talking.
Tyler talks more than any of us. You might not realize that because
no, they
Carl
100% realize.
Well,
that.
they don't join the live streams. If they're watching Hellier, Carl has done a wonderful job.
That's very true.
Editing it.
We're gonna have to.
Tyler likes to talk.
We're gonna have to be quick on the mute button, I think, when he just starts going off, and just hit that old mute button.
We're gonna get nice and liquored up and give live commentary
No.
on episodes of Hellier, and that is gonna be super fun.
Yeah, is that
We're just
the
gonna
after hours?
That's the after hours.
Fun. So that's kind of like the after party.
Yeah, we're just gonna wind down. We're gonna have a good time and just.
Greg's gonna take his pants off. We're gonna talk about Hellier.
I'm not putting pants on.
That's true.
Dana, don't say dipping your toes around Tyler. Fun fact, there's comments. Tyler brought this up. There's comments on Hellier all about Dana's feet.
Oh my God, I know.
Dana
here's the thing.
Dana has foot fans.
Listen, I do whatever you want to do. I know Amy Bruni also has experienced
She does.
the same thing.
I think she has a whole wiki feet.
She's on a foot
Wiki
fetish
feet,
website.
I think, yeah.
Wearing sandals and stuff.
We should.
All right. I mean, here's the thing. I think my feet are pretty gross, but if it does it for you,
We should go
nuts.
see how many of our friends are on wiki feet. We can do that we'll do that live
Oh my God.
tonight.
Can we put Tenny on WikiFeet? Can you put people on it?
Maybe. Do you want to see Tenny on wiki
Tenny
feet?
would be so funny. He always
That's
puts his
everyone's
phone
goal. Tonight, you need to go and get John E.L. Tenny on wiki feet.
Tell him to take another classic Tenny painted toenails picture.
Do we have any photos of his feet?
He does occasionally. He'll paint his toe. Katrin says, "Sorry, Dana's dad. Sorry, Dad. It's pretty gross. It's true though. It's not gross. I don't know. Do whatever you want. I think my feet are gross personally, and my feet
Vlad's
don't
got
really
the idea. Came for the Newkirk, stayed for the feet talk.
Yeah, Tyler, of course, found it creeping around in the comments section on YouTube, which I do not suggest anybody ever do. I'm a Leo, and my Leo heart and ego can't handle the comment section of YouTube, so I stay clear away from that.
It's true.
Greg and Tyler, being scary scorps, are in there all the time. A couple of double Scorpios feeding off all of that anger and hate.
Feed me your bile.
Feed me.
Makes me live. That's how we're gonna end out Saturday night. Saturday night,
super fun.
We'll have live commentary with the cast of Hellier.
And we will, like I said, be muting Tyler quite often.
We're kicking off day 3 with our friend Marco Visconti. He's a ceremonial magician, and he's been working on a book called Thelema After Tears, and he's going to be talking about Hellier. He's going to talk a little bit about the name of his talk is From Hellier to Heliopolis, Investigating the Thelemic Nature of the Ultra-Terrestrials.
Oh, I literally just got goosebumps thinking about that. I'm really scared because I feel like I'm going to watch that, and then all of my live Estes sessions that we do for museum members I'm going to be traumatized. That's actually the thing we've done so many. One of the questions that we ask, and people have been asking this like crazy in the chat. Mm-hmm. They've been asking us, well, when is season 3 of Hellier? And here's the thing. We're sort of in season 3. Yeah. It's sort of happening now. It's always just happening.
It's always just happening. Yeah. We don't make it like a traditional TV show because it really is our lives. And so one of the things that happens in the museum is we have live streams where, for example, we tested a new version of the God helmet that we built ourselves that I don't think I'm ever going to put on again.
Yeah, Greg had a bad time. I had a real good time.
Dana had a good time. I had a very disturbing time.
Yeah. You definitely. It's funny because I think it was last weekend when we were doing the Saturday stream. Someone was like, "Greg, you got to put the helmet back on again." And Greg was like, "It's not gonna happen."
No.
He's a little traumatized, I think.
So we've done that. We've had a psychic remote viewing search for Terry Wrist.
It was so awesome.
And the craziest stuff happens in the live streams. We are living season 3. Yeah. So if you're curious about it and curious about where it's going, join the museum.
Session. I did remote viewing for how long was it? Like an hour and a half, and it was legitimately one of the weirdest, most visceral experiences I've ever had, and I am 100% sure I saw somebody and somebody saw me.
Join the museum and you can see Greg's bad time. You can. It's
You
in.
definitely can.
We left
It's
it up
there
in there.
forever.
It's
You can see Greg having a real bad time.
Yeah. Hellier season 2.5, the COVID files.
Yeah.
Sort of.
There's been a lot of Zooms.
A lot of
zooming.
Marco is going to talk about some of the stuff that everyone had questions about after season 2. You know, one of the things that I think people forget is we're not thelemic magicians. We're learning all of this stuff as we go. So people are actually seeing that. So when we're presenting the stuff that we're finding, you're seeing it fresh.
Yeah.
We haven't done, you're seeing it as it happens. And I mean, there's a little bit of, if you watch season 2, for example, a lot of the stuff doesn't happen in order. But you're, for better or worse, you're seeing it as it happens. So we're clueless.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, and you know, all the stuff with the tomes, that was a live investigation that was for museum members. I mean, it was literally a live investigation when we experienced all of that.
Marco. I need to iron out the details, but if technology allows it, I do have a musical sigil to connect with Terry Wrist, for instance.
Ugh.
Marco!
No.
Oh my God! Yeah, very, very excited about that. Marco's a brilliant magician, and I've listened to a few of the conversations he's had with other brilliant magicians about Hellier, and it's made me think a little bit differently about what's going on in Hellier and what we've gotten ourselves into.
Oh boy.
And I think that you'll think a little bit differently about Hellier after Marco's talk. That's the first one on Sunday. Katie Webb, our really good friend Katie Webb. She's going to be doing a talk titled "Tarot is Such a Tool." Using the tarot to strengthen your intuition.
Yay!
She's been working on this for months.
I'm so excited about it.
Dana's had a few sneak peeks, I think.
I did get a couple of months ago. I had a little sneak peek.
I can't wait. Katie is awesome. She has one of the coolest ways of investigating the paranormal.
Yeah.
Uses a lot of magic and a lot of tarot and a lot of intuition. And, you know, I've not really seen a whole lot of other people investigate the way that she does. And so she's a really wonderful person to learn from. And I'm very, very excited that she's talking at Phenomenacon.
Yeah. And she's a total badass.
She's a total badass.
Total badass.
And she might have to wear, I think she has to wear like some really cool glasses for her talk.
Yeah.
Is that true, Katie?
I kind of want to see these glasses though. I hope I get to see them.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
If our conversations with the chat room are a little scattered, it's because we literally have like 5-6 chat rooms.
Yeah.
And we're seeing everybody's comments. So we're seeing YouTube, we're seeing 3 different Facebook pages, our own pages, Twitter, all that good stuff.
It's a total chaotic nightmare, is what it actually is.
The complete schedule is on Patreon. If you go to Phenomenacon.com, it'll take you right to the full schedule. You'll be able to see everything that's going on and all the details and everything. You know, it's COVID and it's online, so things might change here and there. You never know. People can have tech issues, but
Phenomenacon.com.
It's not going to change very much.
No.
Yes, Katie says it's true. She's going to be wearing some. She's going to be wearing.
Katie's going to be amazing. Go follow Katie on the internets. Find her.
After Katie, we're going to be screening Conspiracy Cruise. It's another one by Brad Abrahams, and it stars, last podcast on the left, Henry Zabrowski. And it's based on a partially true tale of a bunch of conspiracy theorists on a cruise ship.
I would go on this cruise.
You can. It happens.
I feel like me and Tenny could do this cruise, and the problem is I would buy into all of it, and then Tenny would have to talk me out of it. I'd be like, no, you don't understand this, and then he'd have to be like, that's not what's happening. And I'd be like, no, you don't understand, this is happening. And he'd be like, no, it's not what's happening. We could live stream it. That would be super fun. I want to go on this. Well, actually,
we go on cruises every year
We do.
with Amy Bruni and Strange Escapes.
Yes,
and they're always super fun, but they don't end like Conspiracy Cruise ends.
People leave relaxed and have they had a great time, not paranoid and wanting to put tape over their cameras, which is what would happen to me on the Conspiracy Cruise.
Thor, I see your comments, and we will talk.
Yes. And that's the other thing, too. I know there might be some people out there who've sent us emails, Hellier-related emails. We will eventually connect with everyone.
We will.
But you have to understand that our inboxes are bombed.
They are, and they're bombed, and they are
Bombed.
bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass anyone, so I don't want to.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there. Various emails. I said the other day, my inbox is a mixture between really adorable, cute pictures of my new nephew and then people's goblin sightings.
Yeah.
That's my life.
Brian asks, will this be broken into separate streams, or will it be one stream from 4 p.m. to whenever it ends? It'll be one stream.
Yes, I believe we have an
all
8
day.
hour...
We have an 8-hour limit on
Yeah.
our stream, so it'll go for 8 hours. And then for the after-hour stuff, which isn't going to be saved, it's just going to be kind of our wind-down, fun, hanging out at the bar at the con type thing. That is going to happen as a separate stream. So that'll be probably 12:15 p.m. Eastern,
whenever.
around midnight, till whenever everybody passes out or gets way too drunk.
Yeah.
One of the two. Let's see. What else?
The other thing I should mention, just quickly, with
Yeah.
the email thing is, we do read every email. So
Yes, we
don't
do.
think that we're ignoring people. We are reading your emails. We just have to figure out how to get back to everyone in a way that is
Yeah, that's
more
true. That's true.
productive.
Even if you haven't heard from us, we've read your email.
Yes.
For sure.
Don't not send the emails. Because
Absolutely.
we want the emails. We just don't know when we can get back to everyone.
We want to come to Australia. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you've heard yet, but they're not really letting anyone not really letting anyone in right now.
I have an aunt who lives in Australia. Can I do my best Australian accent? Australia.
You're going to offend someone.
I know. I don't want to offend any Australians.
This is actually a great question here. Can we tip the speakers? Yes.
Yes.
Last time we had a tip jar, and it was split between
so
all the speakers.
unbelievable.
Everyone was super, super generous, which is great because part of the reason we're doing this is these are our friends who don't have the opportunity to do the type of events that they normally do.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's how they make a living.
Yeah.
So yeah, there will be a tip jar.
Everyone was so generous. It was unbelievable. And all of that just goes towards the speakers.
Yep, we don't get any of that because I mean, if you join the museum, you're already supporting us, and a lot of what we're doing with Phenomenacon is a thank you to our museum members for supporting us through a pandemic. Anyway, so we don't take any of the tips. That's just for the speakers, and they highly, highly appreciate it. After Conspiracy Cruise. Amy Bruni. Amy Bruni. I always joke about how Amy Bruni's sort of our like very paranormal godmother.
She is. I wouldn't say mother. I'd say paranormal godfriend.
Godfriend?
Yeah. Because
Well,
she's only like a couple
I
years
know,
older
but
than
it's like fairy godmother is a term.
I know.
And it's really just because
she takes us
all over the world.
onto spooky, scary, beautiful places.
She invites us to be on her TV show.
Yes.
She interviews us in her
Adam
book.
does too.
Yeah, he does too. But Amy, if it wasn't for Amy, we would not be talking to you
That's very
right now.
true.
That is the absolute truth.
Amy Bruni.
Amy
Bruni.
She is one of the smartest people that I know in the paranormal.
She's a smart
And
pants.
she's got a new book coming out.
I know.
And it's coming out next month.
I know,
And it's already getting
really
great
good
reviews.
People are really excited about it.
Yeah. You might
It's
see
just
some
in time
familiar
for
names.
Spooky Town.
Yeah.
Spooky
Spooky Town?
Spooky Town.
Is that like Funky Town?
It is like Funky Town, except it's scary.
Amy's going to come back and she's going to talk a bit about how to expand your horizons
That's
as a paranormal
really
investigator.
cool. I love that. The other thing that's really I love about the fact that Amy and Adam are talking is that they, because of the nature of what they do for a living, they're out investigating more than any of us could imagine.
For sure.
And so experiencing an investigation as often as they do, they have information that we can kind of take from them. And so we should tap into their brains and pull their information out.
Drink their adrenochrome.
I'm gonna shake at them like a baby.
You got to shake them like a baby.
All the museum members are waiting for you.
You gotta shake them up!
Stop.
We were talking about
Greg likes to scream in your all your dogs now are
It's a whole thing.
running around.
Cyber Lucy asks, how do you sign up for the con? Go to phenomenacon.com or go to patreon.com/paramuseum.
Yes.
And you'll see all the information you need there.
Yeah.
There's links in there, probably in the chat that you can find too. They yeah, all the information you need is there. And there's lots of deeper information that gives you this exact schedule and what to expect and how to join and all that good stuff.
Yeah. And I think, can I announce what we're doing for Magic of the Month? Can I announce that? Are you going to? Oh, I'm not going to.
You can if you want.
I mean, we're going to open a couple extra slots, right?
So here's the thing. A has a subscription box called Magic of the Month.
I know. We talked about it. We all know. We're friends now.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
It is. I literally.
It's not like other subscription boxes.
No, it's not like mass bot junk. It's that sounded very salty. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come across that way. But I hand make everything. Every detail, and it's not just hand making it. I also make things during certain moon phases and during certain times of the year, so I can imbue it with as much a specific, energy as possible. So everything is really highly curated and handcrafted. And it takes me a really long time to kind of create every single month, and so. A couple of months ago, we had to kind of put a cap on it. And it was essentially just because the workload was becoming overwhelming for me. But I think we're going to open up a few extra spots throughout the weekend.
Throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of first come,
Not
first
a
serve.
ton, but just kind of a few, in case. Just in case, because I know there's some people out there who haven't gotten the chance to join and they really wanted to. And they haven't been able to jump on when there's an open slot. So I'm going to open a couple of slots throughout the weekend. Just in case there are people who want the chance to do it, but not enough that will make me cry into.
I mean, we cry every month with Magic of the Month.
Yeah,
it's very, very time consuming.
It's funny this month. So it takes us a couple days to pack and ship, and this month, hilariously enough, was a more chill month on the packing front, and what usually takes me 16 hours only took me 13.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Deeper Thinking asks, did the guy running from the helicopter survive season 2?
Yeah, you might see him.
Unfortunately, this is a bit of a spoiler for season 3, potential season 3. Tyler Strand did not survive season 2. Helicopter Man, as we call him. They took him.
Helicopter Guy is what we call him.
Helicopter Guy.
Yeah.
His brain popped when he had a very intimate discussion with the Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
Overloaded him, and he turned into an angel.
Yeah, you might see him though, because we're gonna channel him during the HELLIER panel and bring him in.
We'll try and speak to him through the Estes method.
Yeah, I'll be speaking.
God, can you imagine Tyler through the Estes method?
It would be horrible.
It would just be disgusting.
It would be horrible. There he is, right there, Tyler Strand.
The helicopter took him out.
Yeah.
It was actually Archangel Michael took him out.
Yeah.
He's Angel Boy now.
Angel Boy.
Angel Man.
Angel Tyler.
So no.
R.I.P. Strand.
Rest in peace, Tyler. We miss you. Come talk to us sometime
through the
Estes method. F in the chat.
I'm sorry you died, Tyler.
Yes. Also, Rashad died too.
No, Rashad.
HELLIER is just taking us out one by one.
Yep.
You need
Aldona
those.
Says R.I.P. Tyler. He had great hair.
He had great hair. Well, poor Tyler. Poor Rashad.
Yeah.
We just keep adding people every season,
horrible?
And then
It would be like if every season when we added a new person, they died.
Like a drummer in Spinal Tap.
Oh my god.
He's just a. Oh god, I love it.
We need someone new for season 3.
We would think that anyway.
Yeah.
After Bruni, back to the schedule. After Bruni,
Mr.
the one and only John E.L. Tenney.
We don't know what he's going to talk about.
We never do. But that's the beauty of it. Every time Tenney shows up to give a lecture, no one knows what he's going to talk about.
Yeah.
He did do a very special one for the last Phenomenacon where he talked about conspiracy.
Yeah.
Which was really fantastic. He's actually one of the smartest people I know about conspiracy.
Tenney's one of the greatest things that ever happened was we were visiting Detroit and we spent the weekend. I think we went to the Ford Museum, and then Tenney spent 3 to 4 hours that night talking us through the Kennedy conspiracy.
Oh my god.
The Kennedy assassination conspiracy. And it was just like us sitting around. It was the most fascinating thing.
And then like the best weird uncle He took us to the Henry Ford
Then
Museum to go see the Kennedy
we
assassination car.
We got to go see the car. And you want, like, here's the thing. Obviously, we've traveled to, like, the most creepy haunted places. We've gone all over the world. And the energy coming off of that car was unbelievable. Like, I would love the chance to see someone do an investigation just of that object itself. Because it was craziness. Crazy town.
Yeah,
Spooky town.
Tenny is going to come and he's going to give one of his signature weird lectures.
Yes.
If you've never had the opportunity to sit through one, this is a amazing opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Because they will change the way that you think about the weird. And they're always different.
Yeah.
They're
Sometimes
always
you cry,
different.
sometimes you laugh.
Sometimes you do both.
Yep.
You're going to love it. Yeah, here we go. Tenny called to a radio show I listened to, and he debunked so many paranormal investigation devices. It was great. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. I mean, as a general rule, if it's a paranormal investigation device, it probably doesn't do what it says it does.
Yep. Sometimes.
Insider tip, especially if it's on your phone.
I didn't know that. Amy said that Kennedy's car was made in Cincinnati. Holy crap.
Whoa. Cincinnati's weird, man.
It is
Cincinnati's
weird. It's
weird.
a weird place.
Tenny's closing out the night.
He is
Tenny's closing out the
night.
conference.
We're gonna let him just talk for as long as he wants to.
And then we do have one more special surprise.
Are you not saying what it is?
No, not yet.
Oh, Greg
You'll
loves
find out.
secrets.
It's fun.
If you're
It's
a
fun
museum
to have
member,
surprises.
You're very
used to
with
it.
Greg's
Yeah.
secrets.
So we'll be closing out after hours with a special surprise and just hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff you should read about Phenomenacon if you've got questions. If you are curious about Phenomenacon and you want to know more about it, go to Phenomenacon.com. I'm actually going to put it down here in the chat so you can see it. It is...
God, are you typing it in?
I love that Dana, every time I do this, Dana just watches.
Greg, we do this thing here. It's called Awkward Dana Time, and it's mostly just that I don't like to have to carry the conversation myself. I basically like don't know what to do with my hands when I have to talk without banter, so I end up just being very awkward and creeping people. People are like, "What's wrong with her?" And I'm like, "I don't know what to do right now. I feel very awkward." There
you go. Phenomenacon.com for
There we
tickets and info.
Yeah, that's cute that you're doing a little surprise.
There's a couple of them in there, and there's some
Little
stuff that we haven't talked
surprisey.
about or announced yet. That I just think it's fun to have some stuff
Yeah.
that isn't on the schedule officially.
Yeah, that's always fun.
But it's going to be a super fun weekend, and part of the reason we're doing it's twofold. It's a thank you to the museum members who stuck around during a time when things are really rough for everybody.
Yeah.
Because you've kept a roof over our heads, you've kept food in our cats' dishes, and you've kept us busy too, and it's been fun.
I mean, that's the nice thing too. Is one of the most important things really is that the museum members really are the most positive, amazing community of people who care about each other, and in non-COVID world, get together and go on investigations together and create ghost hunting teams together and create friendships with each. It's an amazing place, and I like to think that it's sort of the overall energy of like everybody who is a museum member that draws kind of very positive, like-minded people, and it really does become a kind of family.
Yeah.
A real weird family that likes to talk about.
People like to
creepy
accuse
stuff.
us of being a cult.
But
we're definitely
we get
not
the word
a cult.
We're not. We're just weirdos that
just
like to have a
weirdos.
good time together.
Yeah.
Weirdos who like to have a good time together.
That sounds kind of creepy, Dana.
Yeah, it's genuinely a really, we're so lucky to have so many amazingly positive and fun and intelligent and compassionate, wonderful people.
And
that are
as
part of the
Cynthia
museum.
says, we've watched Greg morph through grooming trends. It's
That's very true.
They literally, the museum watched my beard grow during quarantine.
His beard went from like a regular beard to like Amish beard. You had like the Amish beard thing going on. Like you look like an old timey panhandler.
So here's the thing.
Like you could have been in like a lake, like looking for gold.
The only reason I shaved,
A creek.
we went to go shoot something with Amy and Adam.
Yeah.
Don't know what that could be. And I thought, do I want to go on national television looking like crazy grizzled
Prospector.
wizard.
Yeah.
And
Less
as much as I wanted to, I knew that the joke would only be funny once.
Yeah.
And that
That's
episode
a good
of
point. People
whatever
will
it
be like-
is that we shot is going to be around forever.
People will be like, look at Greg having a nervous breakdown. List Greg in the middle of his nervous breakdown.
I mean, my
he was
life
still
is
having a nervous breakdown. He just didn't have a beard.
basically my life has been a nervous breakdown since season 1 of Hellier. So 2017 it's been a nervous breakdown. So that was just a visual breakdown.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a thank you. Phenomenacon's a thank you for all of our museum members. I know there's a ton of you guys watching. For sticking around and continuing to support us through the pandemic. But it's also a really fun way to bring people the conference experience, because so many paranormal conferences, I mean, pretty much all of them have been canceled or postponed this year. You know, we were scheduled, I mean, you can go look at the schedule on our website,
probably still up
paramuseum.com. Tons of stuff we were supposed to do is canceled. And so, you know, it's just as much of a bummer for us to be sitting around not doing anything when we had so much stuff we wanted to talk about and share. So this is a way for us to hang out with our friends and have that experience again and give people the conference experience that they're missing. And sort of the unintended side effect that we didn't realize till after the first event was that there were a ton of people who aren't able to go to conferences at all because maybe they live overseas or maybe they have access issues.
Yeah.
There's so many
even
people.
Just, like, the thing is, if you go to a convention, it's travel money, it's hotel money. Like, that's a lot of money for a lot of people, and they can't, you know, not a lot of people can do that. So it's one of those things where we realized after the fact, there's a ton of people who just can't make it to events that would still love to have that experience. And that's really what we tried to do as much as we possibly could with the first Phenomenacon.
It's like Damo said. I hope I'm saying your name right. He said, looking forward to the conference. It gives us Aussies a chance to see speakers we normally wouldn't have access to.
Yay!
Exactly. And this is the most accessible paranormal conference you'll ever attend.
We have a couple Australian museum members.
Yep.
Grant.
Yeah, that's right. And so there's people who have disabilities that keep them from being able to attend conferences, and this gives them the opportunity to see stuff, like see one of 10 lectures.
Yeah. And it's like, again, you know, for a lot of these people, these lectures aren't online. Like, you can't just find them. They do them live at lectures and conferences. So or at events and conferences. So it's super fun. You don't have to wear pants.
You don't have to wear pants.
You can
get
Clothing's
completely
optional.
tanked and not make a fool of yourself
Yeah,
in front of hundreds and thousands of people.
You can do whatever you want in the comfort of your own home, and we will bring you the weird.
Yeah.
Bringing you the weird. I'm trying to see. Oh,
So listen, that's Phenomenacon.
that's Phenomenacon.
Think about it. If you want something to do this weekend and you missed the conference experience, come check it out. If you want to support the museum, come check it out. If you want to hear a bunch of great speakers that are going to blow your mind a million times over, come check it out. It's going to be a good time. We put a lot of work into it, and I think it'll show. I think everybody will have a blast. If you have questions about it, go to the website, Phenomenacon.com. Everything you need to know there. It shows you, how to get into the secret Facebook group where we're holding it, all that good stuff.
Yes.
you'll
If you do
dig it.
sign up, make sure you read that email, and it will. Sorry. I said that really weird.
That was very Canadian. You sounded like Terrence and Phillip there.
I
Sorry
did.
guy.
Top of my head bobbed off.
Sorry, guy.
Sorry, friend. The email that you get will give you all of the deets for how to get into the secret museum clubhouse.
Spaghetti asks, wondering why it's not Phenomenacon, because Phenomenacon is taken, and it's not
That's
even
such a
paranormal.
bummer.
I think it's just like a LARPing thing.
Yeah.
So no, we wanted something, and it's funny because one of the things that we get from grammar people who think they're grammar nerds all the time.
Phenomenon.
When we talk about Hellier and we're talking about the phenomena, people like to remind us that phenomena is the plural version of phenomenon. And I say, yes, I know, and we're talking about all the phenomena, which is why we're using it.
All of them.
Literally, someone sent me a letter in the mail to say that to me.
It's very aggressive.
people, Hellier's done
unnecessarily.
Hellier's done a weird thing to people.
Yeah.
It is alive, 100%. Yeah. So
That's so funny. So many people are, they booked off the weekend. They're ready to go. I love that so much.
we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun.
So now that we've talked about Phenomenacon, we've talked about what we're
Should
gonna
we
do.
answer a couple questions?
Yeah. Do you guys have questions? I know there were some people. Again, we're seeing comments from
Yeah.
7 or 8 different
It's all over the
outlets.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. And I know there were some people on YouTube that had some comments. There's some people on Facebook and Twitter that have comments. If there's something that you guys want to talk about, let's talk. Yes, Carl, we're talking about all the phenomenons.
All the phenomenons. It was very aggressive. It was a very aggressively worded letter.
See, Andrea has the right idea. I'm a grammar nerd and I've learned to shut up because it's really obnoxious. Yeah. I mean, no one likes know-it-alls. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Nobody likes know-it-alls. Anytime anyone wants to jump in and tell you that they've done something first or they've known better or they've, whatever, it's literally the most annoying thing you could do to someone.
Poor Andrea's just developed an eye twitch when she hears people not speaking very good.
Oh, Carl Pfeiffer has a question.
Oh, no, Carl.
Are you planning a pointy goatee to go with that mustache? Maybe.
Don't give him any ideas, Carl.
Maybe.
I think what you should do is just grow this out and put a bead.
Put a bead in it?
Hang it, let it grow really
grow
long.
real
Just
long?
put like a little bead in the bottom, and you could
Yeah, I should need to get
Swing it
a
around.
rat tail too.
no,
Ooh.
just the bead. It would be very confused. People would be like, "What's the deal with that bead?"
The obvious question:
Hellier
Hellier season 3.
3.
You're in it, baby.
You are in it.
This is season 3, and if you hang out in the museum live streams,
You're really gonna be in it.
you really are quite literally taking part in it.
Yep.
Just like season 2.
Yeah.
A lot of season 2 was experienced live by the museum members.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're in it. Shake them up. Get that brain juice, baby.
Yep.
Oh no. People making Hawaii in jokes. Have you molested any seats lately, Greg?
I don't get it.
Don't worry about it. You don't want to get it. You don't want to get it.
I don't get it.
Let's see. Huge fan of the work you guys do. Love Hellier. Can't wait for more to come. Keep up the quality, guys. Thanks, Anton.
Thank
That means
you.
a lot of that.
That's Mr.
A lot of that heavy
Pfeiffer.
lifting is Carl Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Carl Pfeiffer.
He makes us look really good and spends hours and hours and
Yes.
hours in the editing bay.
Yeah.
He still tweaks color grades on stuff, even though it's been out.
Tyler's Goblins.
Oh, yeah. We should talk about that.
Tyler Strand has been handcrafting amazing goblin busts, and he's been working on them for a long time.
The goblin that you see in the opening credits of Hellier and on the season 1 poster, that was sculpted by Tyler Strand.
Yes.
And he has made hand-painted replicas of that exact mold. And he's going to have a few of them for sale at Phenomenacon. So if you want to own like an insanely rare handmade piece of
They're beautiful.
Hellier
If you follow
merch.
Tyler on Instagram, you probably have seen him. He does lots of live streams throughout the painting process. So you may have seen him working on some of the goblins that he'll have available. And they're beautiful. They're just unbelievable. He literally is very detail oriented.
So Cyber Lucy and J3 asked sort of the same question, so I'm going to go with J3 since it's a little longer. I want to know if you guys, all the Hellier crew, are doing okay. Any strange negativity going on in your lives that are messing with you? Honestly, I think it's the opposite. I think it's really weird, at least for me. I can only speak for me and Dana, but I think things have been better since season 2. I mean, there's definitely stress, don't get me wrong. Hellier has this weird effect on people. I'm sure you've noticed it if you follow Hellier and you follow like Hellier Twitter and conversations about it or the subreddit, you'll notice that people get weird about it. Hellier has a weird effect on people, and sometimes it affects a certain type of person.
I think of it as
We've had our first few stalkers.
Yeah, I think of it as, I kind of call it like activating. Like it activates people in certain ways. And we've definitely had some scary-ish things happen,
Yeah.
for sure, that we've never had to deal with before, which has been no fun. But yeah, that's something that's definitely happened to a degree.
Yeah. But I think overall, at least speaking for us, it's been a really positive, life-changing experience.
Yeah, the positive outweighs any negative
Yeah.
by leaps and bounds.
And the other guys, if you're curious,
Yeah,
come to Phenomenacon. We're gonna be doing live commentary
You
on
can
a couple
ask-
of the episodes,
You
and
can ask that question again to all
we'll,
of us.
We'll talk about
Maybe they'll have more interesting answers.
that. What do you think about the mysterious jetpack guy story from a few weeks ago? My back is still burned. I put the jet engines a little too close to my
I
butt.
don't know what this is.
You didn't hear about this?
No. Are you going to talk to me? Is this a later conversation?
No. There were air traffic controllers were getting reports from
Oh my god.
pilots about this man on a jetpack.
And it starts right now.
Yeah.
That guy's my favorite. I love that meme.
You heard about Mr. Wrist being an ascended master using magic to project his thoughts on everything to start all this. That's a regular
There's
topic
a lot
of conversation.
Of people who believe that that's the angle.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not afraid to say I have no idea.
Yeah. We'll be the first people to tell you we don't know at all.
And the stuff we do have ideas about, we don't want to talk about yet because we're saving them.
I know.
But we have thoughts. We have ideas. Things have progressed.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll talk about it sometime.
Maybe during the live stream.
Can we start some new Tyler memes? Anytime.
Always.
The more, the merrier.
Yep.
The more disgusting the memes, too, the better.
No, that's not true.
Any new Legos? Yeah.
Yes. That's Greg. The way that Greg relaxes is he loves Lego and he puts Lego together.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a Lego snob thing? That like it's a Lego, not Legos.
The Legos is
Like,
incorrect.
Legos,
it's Lego
elitist.
is supposed to be the
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
I'm not really an elitist. Like I for some reason gravitated to Legos because Lego. See, I did it.
You did it.
Because I wasn't allowed to have them when I was a kid. I couldn't have them, and so now what I do is I create custom Lego of all of my friends.
He does.
And so there's like
It's a little creepy.
there's a Hellier Lego set with a mine shaft and
Yeah.
goblins, and there's Carl and Connor and Tyler and Alan Greenfield
Amy and Adam and
Yeah.
Penny, and it's very creepy.
yeah, Amy and Adam from
Yeah.
Kindred Spirits, even Chip Coffee.
Yeah.
I have a
Chip has a little scarf.
yeah,
Like you've done everybody.
everybody, and I still add more.
Yeah, he's always.
Are you still ghost hunting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Never not.
We just did something with Amy and Adam not too long ago. It was all about ghosts. What else? Let's see. Maybe the letters a sign you need to be focusing on a singularity more than bigger picture stuff.
That's an interesting
Thoughts?
theory. I like that.
Like it.
A little nod from the universe.
Are you into David Paulides research? People ask this question all the time. They always ask about crossover between Hellier and Missing 411, and I don't think there is much. At least when you look at the maps, because we've gotten the maps, we've looked at them.
We legitimately haven't been able to do that much research into the correlations between the two. And that's we've done some, but not deep analysis or anything.
Yeah, and I mean just from first glance, like if you look at the map, there's one that's going around. You see it like the Mammoth Cave system, and then the Missing 411 stuff. That's not a real Missing 411 map. People have added a bunch of stuff to that.
That's interesting. So it's like a public.
Yeah. So when you actually look at it, there's actually a strange gap that doesn't exist over the Mammoth Cave system.
That's really interesting.
So it's funny that it is very much not. It just won't show us a big correlation. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's tough though. It's tough with Missing 411 because Paulides won't say what he thinks is happening, so it's
Yeah.
hard to kind of cross that stuff over
That's true.
too much. And I get why, but I just don't think there's enough of a connection for it to be a big avenue of research.
Maybe at some point in the future. Someone said, where did it go? Someone said that I was their favorite Insta witch.
Oh,
Thanks, man.
that's nice.
Follow me on Instagram.
You gotta
weird_Dana.
Gotta get on TikTok, baby.
No way. Too old for TikTok. I turned 40 this year. I feel like I'm ornery. I don't understand how things. I'm like, I don't get this. I feel like I probably would be very bad at TikTok.
Do you guys have any books or anything coming out besides Hellier? Stay tuned. You might see some announcements probably early next year about some stuff. Hellier's an ongoing thing, and it keeps coming up. And I think that's something that we'll continue to work on, whether it's in front of the camera or not. But there are other things, and there's some projects we've been working with Carl on. Carl and Tyler and Connor, and there's some other stuff.
There's all sorts
all kinds
of stuff
coming. Yeah, we're very busy.
We're never not creating stuff. It's always something coming out.
In Hellier, you mentioned Somerset, England. Has the journey led you to look at myths and happenings in other countries as well?
Good
yes,
question.
Absolutely. We get into a little bit of it surface in season 2. But I wouldn't be surprised if we end up putting boots on the ground in another country eventually, because of some similarities and some stuff. Yeah. What else we got?
Dean, any MIB types showing up around any of you guys? See, the thing that I think is very interesting about the Men in Black specifically is we think about them in terms of like what the 80s and 90s. How would they be doing it now, I think, is the question. And I think in that regard, we have definitely had some weird experiences.
I think one of the
For sure.
One of the weird things is we kind of lament the idea that we've not gotten phantom phone calls, right? So
But who even gets phone calls anymore?
But here's the thing: we've had this discussion with Carl, and he's just like, we want a Man in Black to call us. We want that John Keel experience,
Keel
right?
thing.
But here's the thing: I wouldn't pick up the phone if it was an unknown number.
Yeah,
You think a Man in Black is going to leave?
He's going to be like, Craig, why are you
going to leave
me?
a voicemail?
Good
No,
point.
I don't even
Very
listen to
good
my voicemails. I read the text to speech.
Good point.
So
Yeah,
I think that era is over. I think it's
kinda
phantom
sucks.
emails now, and I think it's phantom comments now, and I
Yeah.
think it's
weird messages or even letters.
letters. We've gotten letters.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked much about this, but there are like actual
Physical
long
letters.
letters with like weird stamps
Yeah.
from places far away that have had some weird things to say about Hellier. So I think that the Man in Black stuff, it changes. It's like the UFOs; they're not airships anymore.
Yeah, it's just evolving with the times.
Exactly.
Maybe I need to be on TikTok. Maybe I could have Men in Black TikTok experience.
Maybe.
I don't understand TikTok at all.
How long has Jack Parsons' spirit possessed you for? I don't know. What's the answer to that, Dana?
A little while, a little bit of time here. Definitely feeling Jack Parsons' energy very intensely over the past couple of months.
That's very sexual energy.
It's true. It's very true. You said that so creepy.
Danielle is welcoming you to the 40s Club.
Yay! I did it.
Congratulations. You didn't die.
I didn't die. I joke that and I've made this joke forever, but I have the disposition of an old lady. I'm not like I like to sit in corners and read books, and I'm just so I'm just aging into my disposition.
What else? There was one here I wanted to talk about. Wow, where'd it go? Somebody asked about the year 1955. Yeah, that's a very important year.
Yes.
Will Connor debut the Tony and Daryl theme song this weekend?
So there's a ongoing joke, kind of Hellier joke, behind the scenes Hellier joke, where Indrid Cold had two shipmates, named Tony and Daryl, and this is according to the Indrid Cold lore. He had two shipmates named Tony and Daryl, and they were humans. And Tyler and I thought that was really, really funny, and we became obsessed with Tony and Daryl being like bumbling human dummies who just mess everything up. And because our names are Tyler and my name's Dana. We're Tony and Daryl. We call each other Tony and Daryl, and we're always like, whenever we're shooting Hellier stuff, we're always Tony and Daryl are on the case, and we just like will mess it up and
Messing
act like
stuff
idiots.
up.
And Connor actually wrote us a theme song, and it's a good theme song. So maybe if we're
He
lucky,
should do an official
maybe if we're
recording of that.
lucky, Connor will do an official recording of the Tony and Daryl theme song. But yeah, if you ever hear us talking about Tony and Daryl, it's me and Tyler. We're Tony and Daryl. We're like, oh, Tony and Daryl hit the ejection button again.
Any
Blew up the
research
ship.
tips for amateur paranormal researchers? I think don't get pigeonholed by one belief.
Yeah.
I think the more that you can expand your beliefs and the more you hang out with some of the people who maybe have beliefs that don't jive with yours. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, don't just hang out with people who think ghosts are demons. Don't just hang out with people who think demons are demons. Don't hang out with people who think that Bigfoot is a flesh and blood creature that just for some reason is really good at hiding.
Beware of gatekeepers.
Beware of gatekeepers.
Beware of gatekeepers. Beware of people who tell you, no, this is how it is. Anyone who speaks in absolutes is somebody who you should probably avoid, because at the end of the day, we, as paranormal investigators, regardless of whether we've been investigating for 50 years or 5 days, we still don't know what's going on. And there should always be space for questioning and creativity and wonder and curiosity. So the second that people start to tell you, no, this is how it works, avoid those types of people's information. You can probably pull aspects of their research and apply it to your own, but don't let gatekeepers tell you this is how you have to investigate. You know, this is the way it needs to be. Because if that were the case, I would never bring tarot cards with me on an investigation. We would never utilize magic on investigation. So don't listen to those people.
Yeah.
They're just trying to
We never would have
get
gone
you
looking
to
for
do what they want
goblins.
them to do.
And
That's
we
true.
also wouldn't have found all the weird stuff we found when
Yeah.
we went looking
or
for goblins.
use the Estes method
Yeah.
to try to communicate. I mean, it's be open and recognize that the more you're open to having the experience and you know, being creative with the ways that you are investigating and researching, the better.
Listen to people who want to give you the tools for you to make your own decisions.
Yes.
Don't listen to people who say this is the way it is,
Yeah.
or that say I can solve your problem,
Yeah.
but you have to do this or whatever. Listen to people who want you to learn,
Empowering you.
who empower you to
Yeah.
make your own decisions and
That's
give you the tools to learn.
Yeah.
Those are the people you should be paying attention to. Those are the good teachers.
Yeah.
Everybody else is probably just looking to get something out of you,
There's
whether
a lot
it's
of egos.
whether it's money or
Ego
or
stroke.
attention or an ego stroke, whatever. Listen to the people who want to help you make your own decisions and give you all the tools to do that. I think that's the most important thing I could say. And you'll have a much more fulfilling experience. And also, like, sometimes what you think, if you've already made up your mind for what you're looking for, you're going to be really disappointed. So try not to. We don't know what any of this stuff is. We can make guesses at it depending on what we've seen and what we've experienced. But the paranormal is a subjective thing that is not going to be exactly the same for somebody right next to you. It might be much different. I have thoughts about why that is, or why I think that is. But because it's such a subjective thing, you need to experience it. You have to subject yourself to it. So, engage the strange.
That's a saying that we use all the time.
Engage the strange. Yeah, I think that's some of the best
So,
advice I could give you.
Did your stomach just make that noise?
It did.
Everyone heard that.
It did. How about similarities with the Skinwalker Ranch phenomenon? I don't know what I think about Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, I would love the chance to go.
I'd
there
love
and
to see it.
investigate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more people probably would love the chance to go there and investigate. Maybe come to some conclusions.
Will Hellier ever stop? I think it's bigger than all of us.
It's a good question. And statement.
I don't know.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that we've talked about this a lot, I think publicly, is this idea that Hellier as a project might just be a stepping stone in a larger in a larger story that's playing out. And there might be a point in time where, our portion of that experience or that story ends, and it moves on to the next person, and maybe Hellier will inspire the next generation of people that will carry that story through to maybe its conclusion, or again, maybe it will never have a conclusion. But we have no ego in the experience. We're just documenting it and sharing it, and that's the idea. I think that's something that we talk as a group about quite a bit, is
ego
removing the ego from the process.
Which I think that's part of the Hellier initiation for us.
I do too. I think it's mostly because it's not really about us. We're just
facilitating
it. We're documenting it, and there will probably come a time where our portion of that is done, and then the next group of people will take it on and bring it somewhere else. But
and that's a tough. I think if there was too much ego in it,
oh my god, it would be horrible.
We would not have been able to make Hellier what it is, because we would have been too rigid to go, well, there's no fucking goblins here, we better just pack it in and leave. You know what I mean?
We better just go. I mean, that's entirely
spoiler alert, by the way. We haven't watched Hellier yet.
It's
we do not drag a dead goblin out of a cave. Sorry
Tyler's
to disappoint
screaming,
you.
Yet somewhere.
Yeah, Tyler is screaming yet somewhere. Let's see. Have you read Edidorpa? Yes. Yes, I've read Edidorpa. Yes. I recently read The Secret Cipher of the Euphonauts. Shocked by the weird correlations I found. Do you think it's really real? I do. I mean, I think it works. And I think the fact that it works, I think the fact that The Secret Cipher of the Euphonauts works is a testament to the fact that it's real. I think Carl used it to find out the location where Terry met Indrid. So I think that, and I think a lot of people, use the cipher, and again, this is subjective. This is just what I think, and based on what I've been told by other people like Greenfield himself, who wrote The Secret Cipher of the Euphonauts. There's a lot of people who are using the cipher wrong. And I think they're just sort of like making things fit.
Sure.
And there's an element of using the cipher that is very much synchronistic. And so I think if it's one of those deals where you're like jamming things so hard to try and make them fit, it probably isn't the message that you're supposed to get. That's the ego. That's the message you want to get to.
And that's always like it's a good kind of school of thought anyway, where if you're pushing to make something fit or to get something to work in a certain way, you're not flowing, you're not part of the current. So, I mean, one of the things that I think for the most part when it comes to our own synchronicities when we're filming and when we're researching and when we're experiencing everything that is Hellier, it's a lot of tapping into it in terms of it being a current. Are we being pulled through the current of the phenomena? And if we aren't, and we're jamming something in and trying to make it fit, then it's probably not part of it. It's probably, again, like you said, our ego trying to push us in a direction that satisfies that ego. But we're constantly trying to remove our ego from that and go with the current and let the current take us. Because it stops, the phenomena stop, the phenomena will stop, or at least from our own experience, that those synchronicities will stop when you introduce the ego into the process.
It's absolutely true.
It's like, get over yourself, dude.
Have you read Valis? There's some interesting things there. Funny enough, it was Dean from Midwest Weird Fest. He had Carl and I on his podcast and brought up Valis. And Valis is something like, it's sitting on my Hellier shelf. I have a Hellier shelf over here full of books with notes in them. And it's the one that I haven't read yet. I'm familiar enough with it to know what some of the crossover is. But I do think it is funny that in Valis, God is a tin can. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, Valis is it's on my radar. I just haven't had the
Your
chance.
radar?
It's on my radar.
It's on your radar.
It's on that
We've been
radar.
in Kentucky a long time.
We have been in Kentucky too long. Jen, if there's an end to what Hellier started, what would your guess be to what this end is? I think that'll be different for every one of us.
Yeah.
I think every one of us would have a different answer to that.
And I think it's the point.
Yes.
I think even you guys should have different endings for that, different ideas of what that ending
Yeah.
would be. It's different for every single
Subjective.
one of us.
I mean,
'Cause it's not. I don't think it's meant.
The
to
thing
be.
about Hellier is that. So Hellier only really resonates with a certain kind of person. There's a lot of people who watch it and they're immediately frustrated because it's not the it doesn't have the gratification that they're used to from paranormal shows or paranormal documentaries.
Yeah.
Because it's more like an actual paranormal investigation where there isn't a neat tidy bow on something and there's just a lot more questions.
It was one of the things that I thought was really interesting. You know, when people complain about stuff, a lot of what they're complaining about is like, then nothing even happened with this part, and like that was a active decision on Carl's part and on kind of all of our part to include a lot of that, because as paranormal investigators, sometimes those dead ends are invaluable to the experience, and truly documenting this investigation, it would be weird if we didn't include some of those dead ends. That's important. And again, at the end of the day, we don't know if it's a dead end here and might not be at some point in the future, or even like it just depends.
So there's a lot of there's people who just they want the instant gratification, and Hellier doesn't really provide that. It's a slow burn. It makes you work for it. You have to do a lot of reading to understand it. It expects you to do homework. And because of that, I think there's a lot of people that get frustrated or they just write it off because they're like, well, there's no goblins in this, so it's not worth my time. And those, I think that's the way of the phenomena getting rid of people who it's not going to reach. Like, it's not meant for them.
It's like a resonance. If it doesn't resonate with you, you're not going to tune into it. So if you're not the same resonance, you're just going to get bored and frustrated and leave, and that's totally fine, because maybe it just isn't for you. Maybe it's not meant to be for you.
And I think however long Hellier goes, it's started a journey for a lot of people who wouldn't have taken that journey otherwise. And I think that's the point. I think that's the egoless, weird living nature of Hellier, because it's starting people on a journey. It's starting people on their own journeys. And I've seen so many relationships formed around it. And so many people who've expanded their horizons about what they think is the paranormal and what they think the world is like. We get emails all the time from people who say it changed my life. Just as many as we get from people who are like, this is fucking waste of my time, man. You didn't find a fucking goblin. You fucking guys from Mountain Monsters found goblin. They'd have found it.
And like, luckily, I think those people are few. I mean, they're getting less and less. It's just not tuning those types of people in anymore. It's like it doesn't have anything to gain from it. So it's sort of like done with you.
And I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't want to say that people who don't like Hellier are not smart or not dumb or dumb or anything like that. It's just not
for them.
It's just not meant for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the weird thing is it calls to who it calls to, and it sort of activates who it activates. And sometimes that's a better or worse thing, because I've seen Hellier drive people crazy. I mean, it's gotten us all on the verge at some point. So I think
that's part of the ego death.
That's part of the ego death, and I think I don't know what the end of Hellier is. I don't know if it'll have an end. It might just have a different name later. And I think that's a lot of what we're finding that we're looking into. Is a lot of what we're looking into has another name 50 years ago, and then maybe 50 years before that. And so we're doing our best to take people on a journey that we're all on. And then that's sort of starting people on their own journey.
Yeah. You're just in some ways, witnessing the process. For a lot of people, that in and of itself is activating for them to their paradigm shifts a little, and then they're like, holy shit, wait, it's happening everywhere. It's not just happening to them, it's happening everywhere. So it shifts the paradigm and that perspective just enough to put you in line with it, and then you're in the current and you just go and you flow with it.
Yeah, even Carl says now that Hellier has gotten some footing, the expectations are more solid, so there's not as many people walking into it cold, which
Yeah.
helps. Yeah,
That's a really good point, Carl.
well, and that's true because season 1, you know, there's a goblin on the poster, and people just sort of expect that that's what they're going to get because they've been trained from paranormal television to think there's a payoff all the time, and so when the payoff, I think there is a payoff, but it's not what people expected. A lot of people dropped out because they got really frustrated. And then the people who stuck around and watched season 2 were like, oh shit, like us, this makes sense now. This is making sense. And I think that's what people forget sometimes is Hellier isn't a traditional television show because we don't have like a story producer who's sitting around going, these are the beats for each of the episodes. This is what you're going to do, and this is what you're going to do. This is the payoff for this. This is the payoff for this. This is the payoff for this. That's not it. It's literally Carl following us around with a camera, or us dumping hard drives full of footage we've shot from our phones or GoPros or whatever to Carl, and then Carl later has to sit there and try and make sense of all
crying,
of it.
A lot of crying, a lot of drinking, a lot of crying.
And so it's not
kidding.
traditional
No.
in that way, and it's even season 2 is a bit of an experiment because a lot of it's told non-linearly in order to have some of those beats. They're still there, and you know, we're honest about it. You can look and you can see the dates that everything happened, but in order to give people that sense that it's a TV show, things have to be told a little bit out of order to keep like certain reveals exciting, because otherwise it would have been really front loaded. So I think people forget that it's real. People forget that it's not produced. It's made by 5 people.
Literally.
Most of which
We
is like
literally are the
Carl and Connor.
Whoever you see on camera, aside from season 1, I mean, you see Rashad on camera in season 1.
Yeah.
And then
Rest
all
in
of
peace,
them,
Rashad.
All of the amazing people who help, like, create the music. But it's us. Just us.
Carl following around with a camera while he complains for a week whether there's going to be enough closure to end the season. Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, it's calls who it calls.
Yep.
It's meant for who it's meant for.
Yeah. And like, again, a process just in and of itself, we are constantly attempting to remove our ego from. So we don't have any idea how it's going to flow. We just go with it. Maybe, you know, next season, ass loads of goblins will be jumping out at us all over the place.
We can only hope.
I just trust it. I'm trusting the process.
But it's, you know, sort of what I was saying before, that advice. If you already, and this is one of the things that we've learned through Hellier, is if you set your expectations before you start the journey,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to get out of the journey what you're
Sure.
supposed to get out of it.
I mean, and the thing is, to people who don't like it, to their credit, there's a very set formula that 95% of paranormal TV kind of adheres to and sticks to. And when you're very, very familiar with that formula and that way of making a show, and then you see something that's not like that and it's not satisfying you the way that you're very used to, you just might be like, this isn't for me. And that's totally and completely fine, because it's a very different formula than what most people are used to. And there's so much paranormal TV, and there has been for so many years, that people get set in their ways and they like something a specific way and they don't want it to change. And that's totally fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Assloads of goblins
Assloads of
jumping out on
goblins.
us. Tyler would be very happy. That needs to be a shirt. Assloads of goblins. Everyone's enjoying the fact that you're drinking Mountain Dew.
This is the one, this is a special new one called Frostbite, and it's like melon flavored.
Melon?
And it's really good. It's really sweet, though. I don't normally drink regular Mountain Dew. Anyway, long story short, I don't know what the end of Hellier looks like.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you're going to hear us say I don't know all the time.
Yeah.
Because we really have no idea.
Yeah.
And we'll see, I guess.
That's the fun of it.
And as for, I know there's a lot of people saying, when are we going to see it? When are we going to see it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Whenever we can.
People forget there's 7 years or more jammed into the first 2 seasons that we released within a year's time.
The world is also not particularly great for filming and all that kind of good stuff right now, but hopefully it's getting better, and hopefully we will get out there, and it will be in front of you soon. Trying to read comments and talk at the same time is like the hardest thing ever. Chad is concerned for your kidneys. I am too.
I don't drink it a lot.
No, he
I
really
only drink it
doesn't.
once in a
He's
while.
really good about it. It's a special treat.
Anton says, the way Hellier's produced made me feel like I was right there and part of the team.
Yay!
Nothing compares to what your team is putting out there.
That
really means a lot.
And that's the cool part, I think, about having Carl literally on camera and off camera. Like, you're experiencing it with, like, through Carl, basically. So there aren't audio people running around, and there aren't producers. It's literally just us. And I think sometimes I think people forget that because Carl does such a good job at making it look so incredibly beautiful and seamless that it's easy, I think, to forget that there isn't, 10 people behind the scenes making sure everything looks and feels great. But I think it's that intimacy and the fact that it is really just us that feels more authentic, because when we are scared, we're fucking scared because there's 5 of us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
true.
Like, it's not
There's
like 5
not a whole
of us
crew
and a craft services truck and a bunch of producers that can, like, it's literally just the 5 of us, and we're shitting bricks because we're scared.
The craft services truck is us, like, trying to go to Denny's or something afterwards.
Or like, we always have snacks. I mean, we gotta have, Connor loves Pringles. We always have Pringles for Connor. Pringies.
Carl is the man and is the eyes of the audience.
He really is.
From Connor himself.
From Connor.
Connor's the man too,
Randall.
though.
Professor Connor.
Professor Connor. Tatiana asks, Greg, please give us a Bigfoot hunter tale.
Oh God, none of them are public facing, live stream friendly.
So for those of you who don't know, there's a man that we know. His name's Tim, and he's a Bigfoot hunter that I met when I was a kid. I've been a paranormal investigator since I was a kid. 12 years old, it was like my first ghost hunt. So I always joke about the first 5 years don't count, because they absolutely don't.
Here.
Oh no. This is the problem. This is the problem with this setup.
Look at me. How these lights are supposed to make you look better, not greasier. Don't look. Look at my eyebrows look weird. This is awful. All right, keep talking.
Tim Holmes is he is a Bigfoot hunter that I found in the back of the Weekly World News, and he had an office in a tall office building in Elmira, New York. Literally, it's like psychologists, lawyers, and then there's the Elmira Bigfoot Watch. And we ended up going out with him, and we made a documentary called The Bigfoot Hunter Still Searching, which has achieved a sort of weird legendary status.
It's kind of a cult film at this point.
It's not available to see anywhere. We're going to screen it again. We screened it once at the beginning of the pandemic for the museum members.
We screened it, and then we had the Bigfoot Hunter come and do a live Q&A, which was complete chaos and anarchy. And then we are going to screen it again.
We're going to screen it again probably next month for the museum members.
Yeah.
We don't bust it out very often because
it's not really
Tim's not for everyone, but it's hilarious.
He's pretty cancelable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
He's problematic. At best, he's problematic.
So Tim calls me every once in a while to tell me all about how the New World Order takeover is going, because he's into that now.
Yeah, that's his new thing.
And his latest thing.
It's not new. It's been for a little while.
His latest thing that I love is him talking about how the New World Order is storing bodies of people it's killed in a container, shipping container, by the abandoned Pizza Hut in Waverly.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, that's Tim.
Love it.
He's very special.
Ooh, still have my DVD copy with the letter you signed. Hang on to that, because that's rare as shit, man. That is very rare.
That's a classic there.
Yeah, there were only like 100.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie Bauer, I had to unfriend him. I don't know why you friended him to begin with.
Don't friend him.
Yeah.
You don't. I honestly, I think I have had Tim muted for like 5 years. It's not worth it. He's amazing as far as Bigfoot hunting goes, and hilarious, and then everything else is he's not so great. That is the I love that everyone's being so nice. Oh, yep, there we go. I was like, is that Tim? I thought Tim was in there. I was like, is he in there?
Tim.
Oh God, everybody plug their ears.
Oh God. Oh God, I can't even read some of these comments out loud.
He's a madman. He taught me how to shoot a gun. He's the person who taught me how to shoot a gun. He has exposed himself to me on more than one occasion.
We've seen his butthole.
We have definitely seen that.
It is crooked.
It is, yeah.
Zeji, I hope I'm saying that right. Zeji says, what's your opinion on tulpas? Do you think the Kentucky Goblins could be tulpas? I mean, my opinion changes all the time, and it probably will change again in a year. But I think most paranormal stuff is tulpic in nature. I think a lot of the things that we're experiencing have to do with the mind. And I think, I'm not saying that doesn't mean they're not real. And I think that we have the ability to manifest things into existence.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people have done that. I think Bigfoot is very much that same type of thing. I think a lot of gods are that type of thing. I think, we've experienced it before with objects in the museum. There's a whole write-up in the members feed about a Dybbuk box that we dealt with, and we found out Dybbuk boxes aren't real.
Yeah, that was a really...
But they can still exhibit activity.
Yeah, that was a really fascinating object, and we documented it over the course of a couple years, where we were given an object that was allegedly a Dybbuk box, and throughout the course of our investigation, which is all public, like museum members were a part of it in a lot of ways, throughout that, the experience of us investigating and doing experiments with this specific object itself, we basically concluded pretty comfortably with a lot of really wonderful evidence that Dybbuk boxes just in general weren't real. And it's one of the things we lecture a lot about is that the man who allegedly owned the first Dybbuk box, the very famous Dybbuk box, he fully admitted that he faked it, and that he basically said, well,
he's said something different to us on Twitter after that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because initially,
the end of the day, there's no reference to any such thing prior to that eBay listing.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of things that don't make sense. And you ask any rabbi, and they're like, "There's no such thing."
But the bottom line is, again, the point is, many of these objects are still active. People are still experiencing paranormal activity around them. So what does that mean? Does that mean that maybe it's actually weirder than the idea of scary demon inside of a box?
This is a good one. Patty Fight says, have you ever seen apparition and not felt afraid, or maybe just calm and in awe? I think most of the time, like for example, the first time I ever saw a full body apparition, I thought it was a person.
I did too.
And there's no like freak out because it's like it looked like there was just some dude standing there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the sighting was over, I was like, why did that guy not make any noise? Why did the weeds not move when he walked? Why did he just walk into the woods and disappear in the middle of the mountains, in nowhere?
Yeah.
I think that's
mine was the same. I've only ever experienced one human, what I believe was a non-living person apparition, and I was the same way. I thought it was just an older woman. We were in a cemetery, and we were looking for a specific area. My friends and I were looking for a very specific area of the cemetery we had never been able to find. They were German war graves, and we had been all over the cemetery looking and looking. It was probably 2 o'clock, and this was over the course of a couple of weeks, and it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning, and we noticed this older woman she had a shawl over her shoulders, and she was standing in the cemetery, and we thought, oh my God, maybe she's grieving, and we didn't want to like interfere, and she literally waved at us like, come over here, and then she turned around and walked up into a corner of the cemetery, and we were like, oh, maybe something's wrong, and we followed her, and she literally led us right to the area, and she was not there.
It's crazy.
So, but it was the same. We literally just thought it was a person. So,
I love Matt. Matt asks, Matt, I love you. Have you experienced any of Shaver's alleged Darrow mind manipulation mech tech suppressing your investigations? I don't know if I can speak directly to Darrow, but I can tell you this very truly. We've all, if not most of us, if not all of us, have experienced very messed up memory issues.
Yeah.
After Hellier. Weird stuff. Like, my memory is shot.
All of ours is in a really weird way.
We have trouble remembering stuff, and we forget things that we shouldn't forget, and it's very weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I had a great memory to begin with, but
I mean, some of us did, and we're all kind of on the same level of. It's very weird the way that the stuff that doesn't. That goes away. We always make jokes that it's like the fairies taking our. We're like, fairies got your memories.
What about the correlations between weirdness in the cave systems, though? I think there is weirdness in the cave systems, but I think it might not necessarily be a correlation to the cave system, and more a correlation to liminal spaces, underground spaces, and potentially deposits of quartz. Geomagnetic anomalies, and I think those things sort of line up with cave systems. I think that might have something to do with it. But again, that's just me speaking off the top of my head. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Tyler Strand, rest in peace. New rumor, Tyler Strand is a Darrow.
Yeah.
I think that's probably very close. Why do you think Tyler is the way he is? Wow. I would love to someday. I'm not even joking about this. We've been talking a lot to Tyler about the idea of starting a podcast and actually having like weekly discussions.
Wouldn't it be great to have like a therapist come on and like talk to Tyler?
You're in my head.
Yeah.
Actually have a therapist come and talk to Tyler.
Be like, Tyler, why are you so obsessed with caves?
Well, I think
I know what a therapist would say.
I know what a therapist would say too. There's some sexual element to that.
Yeah. Also, yes.
But I think, what's wrong with Tyler? Do we not have enough time?
That's the name of the podcast, I think.
That could be the name of the podcast. What's
Carl
wrong with
just
Tyler?
Nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think here's the thing: we're all weird. We've just had time to explore the world a little bit. We're all like, I'm from a very small town in northeastern PA, so I think that's part of the reason Tyler and I get along is because he's from a very small town in the UP, and there's a sort of like weirdness kids from places like that get. So I think, yeah, I think that's there's too much wrong with him to get into all of it right now. That's another shirt. Do a podcast. It's my favorite project. It's easy to churn out. We have ideas for it for sure, and I think once we're in a different space, we'll have something. We'd want it to be really well produced and regular. So we'll see. We have thoughts. Tyler saying weirdness, cough, darkness, cough. Yeah. Therapist, so you're saying you had to go Bigfoot hunting after hours of what you described as sigil charging? Tyler makes too many sigils. That's what's wrong with him.
That's probably true.
It's true. That's true.
Oh, Gordon is.
Alex says his dad will do public therapy.
That would be really funny.
What else?
Let's see.
Anything else? Do you think all the synchronicities you experience in your Hellier investigations are the same as what Jung defined, or has the concept of synchronicities evolved into something else? I don't know. I mean,
we might all have different answers for that.
I think
Carl probably would have a very different answer than the rest of us, or even maybe you.
Yeah, I feel like, despite how much we hammer on about synchronicities, particularly in season 1. We don't really talk about it all that much, and I think when they're really happening, lets us know, at least for me, when I start to experience a lot of them, particularly around a certain subject, Dana can attest to this, I just go, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be going further with this. And then I do, and I just sort of stay in that research hole for a while. And then when they stop, I go, okay, it's not time for that anymore.
As if it's a byproduct, kind of
getting
being in the
close to
current-
something.
Yeah, being part of the
current, being in the current. I think that's
it's like a byproduct of it. So
think
it's meant in a lot of ways, I think, to let you know that you're heading in the right direction, and that the information you're gathering is correct.
Have you guys ever done mass magic rituals since after Hellier?
Yeah. I mean, we have an object, or we had an object in the museum. It was the very first object that we've had to return, which sounds a certain way. We didn't return it to the person who donated it to us, but it was an object called the crone. And we and the museum members spent, many investigations and with this object, trying to figure out why it was reacting to us the way it was, why it was behaving the way that it was. And really, at the end of the day, the main conclusion that we came to was that it had to be returned to its place of origin, which is in an undisclosed place. But one of the things that we did while we were there, so Tyler, Greg, and I hiked like 4 or 5 miles up a mountain in the middle of nowhere to return this object to its place of origin. And the Magic of the Month Club, that month, along with their package, I sent them something that a small mini ritual that I needed them all to do at the exact same time. And they would be doing it on a certain date at the exact same time. So every single person who's in Magic of the Month, if they were comfortable taking part in it, they would do this small ritual. And at the time that they were doing the small ritual, Greg and Tyler and I had hiked 4 or 5 miles up a mountain, and we were performing our own ritual with this object. And so we had all of these people from all over the country all putting their intention into helping our ritual as we were doing it. So and it was beautiful. It was a really beautiful experience. And we were hearing all sorts of things happening around us that weren't animals. And it was one of the more really emotional experiences that we've had as a big kind of community for, over the past couple of years. It was really cool to have so many people all focused on that intention at the same time.
We've done, we did one on live television on the Travel Channel last Halloween.
Yeah,
was
with Amy
was
and
a
Adam.
really big one.
And Chip.
That was crazy. Like, people's TVs were wigging out. And
One of the weird details too with that specifically was I had made a blend just for that live stream. Or for that live special, and people at home were smelling. I didn't talk about what I had put in that blend specifically. People at home were talking about smelling certain herbs and flowers that I had put in the blend. Like rosemary was one specifically that kept coming up people at home were like, I'm smelling burning rosemary, and I was like, that is one of the main ingredients.
That's crazy.
So
that was a weird one.
Yeah.
But, now we have a sigil that's been charged by millions of people that we can use to
and it's
ramp
now a
things up.
museum piece.
It's a museum piece. Yeah. This is a good one. Was the pizza the Hellier gas station good? Oh my gosh.
It was the best pizza
really
ever.
Good. It's really good.
Yeah, it was really
surprisingly great.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh. I missed that pizza.
Can someone start the podcast exhausting the subject with Alan Greenfield?
Oh my god.
I would love to.
We just have to send Greenfield podcasting equipment and just have him set it up and just let him talk himself
I think
tired.
That'd be great. We did during the last Phenomenacon, we did a discussion with Alan, and it
quickly spiraled.
It was great though, and he had a lot of really interesting things to say. We'll have him back at another event with the museum in the future, and we'll have another talk with him. But I think, I don't think that's the last you've seen of Greenfield and Hellier. I think he's intrinsically connected to it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Throughout your career, can you pinpoint the moment you became desensitized to the weird, or was it gradual? Maybe you feel like things still shock you to this day. I don't think we're necessarily desensitized. I think we're just more able to deal with it.
I still am not. I have been,
here's a perfect example. The cowboy guy.
Okay, yeah.
We see the cowboy guy all the time. There's a cowboy looking dude that hangs out here at the place.
Only over the past couple of, like, year.
It's only been the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Connor's seen him.
Saw him.
A bunch of people who've come and hung out at the HQ have seen him, and he's got like a weird like wooden gun and a cowboy hat.
I think.
And so when we see him, we're not like freaked out. We still kind of get that hair standing up on your neck feeling when something happens, but it's not like, oh shit, what do I do about this anymore?
I think for us, and I can only speak for myself, but I think that a lot of it is because of having the traveling museum and having so many objects that have so much attached to them, and we do everything that we can to kind of keep the energy flowing in here and not getting stagnant, and so that too much weirdness starts happening. But I think when you have that many things in your home that you have had experiences with, or other people have had experiences with, little things become really normal. And so it just sort of what is kind of unmundane, even though that's not a word, becomes not mundane, but becomes your normal experience. So like when we hear knocks or see things, it's sort of like, okay, we try to normalize it as much as we can. But it's probably because we live with so much weird shit.
What do we got here? Marco, I forgot to ask, is Phenomenacon PG-18? Yeah.
Yes.
You can
asking for Star Sapphire Racing. Oh boy.
Oh Lord. We need more of you guys on Travel Channel shows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We like to pop up on our friend shows.
That's it. There's plenty of opportunity to do TV that we don't produce ourselves, but I think that is I don't know. It'd have to be something really great, because I like, Hellier we might not be rolling in dough, but the fact that it's made with friends and we all trust each other and we know every inch of what's going on in it is a big deal, and that's something most people don't have. And there's no middlemen in it. And so I like the fact that we're making it on our own and showing people you can do this yourself. Nothing against it. I love paranormal TV. And like Dana said, I like doing our friends shows. Like I love popping up on Kindred Spirits. But part of the reason is because Amy and Adam are executive producers. We know what we're getting into. We know we can trust them. And we know that what they do is on the up and up. And sometimes you don't always have that. So yeah, we love popping up on other shows all the time, but I don't know if we'd want to do one that's just us. I think we are. It's called Hellier, and anyone can watch it.
The amazing thing about the world right now is, we live in a world where you can make your own things. There are people, who are creating their own documentaries and they're creating their own series, like Hellier, for instance. So we kind of... We're lucky that we get to pop up on shows that we care about and that are really great, and that, we know the people who make them are amazing people and dedicated to the paranormal and paranormal research, but we also get to do our own stuff. So it's kind of fun that we live in this world now where all of the people who maybe couldn't get ghost hunting shows 10 years ago now can just make their own.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
I think is really the future of a lot of paranormal TV.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think when people realize we made season 1 of Hellier for like $1,500 or something like that, Carl, that doesn't count all the hours and hours Carl spent of manpower not getting paid to make the show. But it's you can do it if you have a good story and you have a good crew. You can make something that is really compelling, and you don't need 100 cooks in the kitchen. You don't have to worry about what the advertisers are going to say. And, we tried to pitch Hellier to networks, and they wanted to literally redo everything.
Yeah.
Because again, it's not the traditional show. And so, we just got to that point where we're just like, fuck it, let's do it ourselves.
We'll do it live.
And I think it's worked. It's worked out. What do we got here? Hello from Detroit. Love you both. Thanks for changing my life. Oh, gonna make me cry. What's the most haunted or active item in the museum? What do you think these days?
I don't know. I guess there's like varying. I mean, I don't know.
It's the weird thing is it depends on where we are for one,
Yeah.
and it depends on how much attention we're paying to it. Because there's a few things that we don't really ever break out
No.
that have like we don't even talk about them publicly
Yeah.
because the stories attached to them are really really messed
Too
up.
traumatic.
And those definitely.
They're usually the best way to describe it, I think, is that normally what is the most active object in the museum at any current moment is the one that we're doing the most amount of experimenting and research into. So if we've been given an object and we're currently in the process of doing our initial investigations, more often than not, that's the one, because we're putting the most intention. Our intentions are in, communicating and understanding. That tends to be the object that's the most active. And then there are ones that no matter what we do will always be very, very active, and they have a mind of their own, I guess is the best way to put it. But for the most part, I think it's usually the ones that we're actively focused on trying to understand and investigate.
Oh yeah, chasing dolls down cave holes. Yeah, that's an in joke from one of the live streams. Join the museum, and you'll know what we're talking about. Stuff we wouldn't dare talk about on a public stream. Oh God, what else here? We've got. What'd you think of the Warren documentary? Didn't watch it. I've heard things about it, but I didn't watch it. Can you tell us about that big square executioner's mask in the background?
Oh God.
You will find out about this. We will have a museum update about this because it is a very special piece that has a lot of connections to the things that we're researching right now. And I cannot believe that it is in the museum collection.
Mm-hmm.
This
guy
yeah.
right here.
Yeah. There's one on the shelf above it, too, that's part of it. There's another one over there that's part of it. And there's a bunch of stuff in the office that has to do with it, too. It's very, very cool. Let's see. Austin says, I joined the museum because of Hellier and the quarantine and have stayed because of all the artifacts and live streams. The live artifact investigations are so fun. Yeah. We haven't really done a ton of those just because, haunting the house in the middle of a pandemic when we're stuck at home and can't actually go and decompress.
We've done fun things though, we do a lot of. We did why is my brain not working? Oh, we did a rundown of sort of all of our tarot cards, and we do a lot of kind of stuff to fill in between doing the live investigations. But yeah, it's not super fun to haul out a scary haunted object in the middle of being trapped in the house with it. It's just how you start horror movies.
From your very beginnings in the work to now, what's something that's you've changed your mind about that surprises you the most?
Oh my goodness.
Well, to give you an idea, I mean, I when I first started investigating the paranormal when I was a kid was really because I was watching, Ed Warren interviews and reading Ed and Lorraine Warren books and things like that. And now I'm, for lack of a better word, kind of disgusted by all of that stuff because I think it's very preachy and unhealthy and gives a very fear-based look at the paranormal. And I don't think that's how we should be looking at it. I think it should be curiosity over fear. It should be a curiosity first thing. Always, obviously be safe. But, those books said things like people were possessed by demons because they adopted a kid from India or because they read Dungeons and Dragons manual and stuff like that. And it really contributed a lot to the satanic panic that ruined people's lives. So I've changed my mind almost completely about it. I mean, I was also one of those kids you're a kid, you believe in orbs. You see an orb in a picture, and now I see a picture with an orb. I'm like, oh, clearly it's just a camera artifact. Dust reflecting off the lens.
I think maybe one of the most now the cats are playing with toys. I think one of the things that comes to mind initially is, with some of the objects that we've got in the museum. It's easy, I think, for a lot of people to hear that initial story that someone else has had with this with an object specifically, and drop the D word and like instantly not want to have anything to do with it. And one of the things that we're very very vocal about is this idea that if we're not doing our due diligence as investigators and trying to understand why and how this object is behaving the way that it's behaving, then there are some objects in the museum that had we just come right out of the gate and stamped big evil stamp on it and went, well, we're done, we never would have recognized after months and months and months or sometimes years of investigations that the reason that this object is behaving a certain way is because of this. And this is not evil. It's in a lot of cases it's very trauma based. And so for a lot of old school investigators, it's very easy, I think, to instantly label something that is kind of scary as evil or demonic. And the bottom line is, unless you're doing your due diligence, you're actually researching those objects, you're never going to come to the actual conclusion. Our cats are freaking running around right now.
All right, we got time for a few more questions.
Yes.
Luke says, how relevant are goblins now, or are you looking more into euphonauts as a broad spectrum? And is euphonauts too vague or not vague enough? That's a really good question, and I think the answer to it is the more we dig into this, the more we have to redefine what a goblin is.
That's a good point.
And I think when you start to dig further and further into it, you realize that like it's goblins all the way down. Same thing, different name, over and over and over again. Some people might argue about classification, whatever, that's fine. But I think it's a much broader spectrum of things than we thought. And so, yes, goblins are still relevant. But I think goblins is far more broad than it was when we first went into this case thinking, well, we're going to find some little alien creatures living in a cave. Maybe I'm not holding my breath, but I think it's much weirder than that and much older than that. And it's a matter of, because what we're doing kind of two things. We're tracking things backward in time and finding parallels from as early as we can, but we're also
I can feel Carl going.
We're also understanding how what we're doing now with Hellier is starting the way people are looking at things like goblins and looking at things like the ultra-terrestrials and looking at things like the paranormal and sort of reshaping people's opinions after they've been warped by 50 years of paranormal content that focuses a lot on ghosts being dead people or demons.
Yeah, it's like you're basically
or Bigfoot being a monkey.
Dismantle it all because again, I said paradigms before, but it's these like very specific kind of boxes that compartmentalize things have been compartmentalized into. So we're having to kind of pull it all apart because it just doesn't work anymore. And like just sort of like go, okay, what do we do now? How do we put it back together? And that might not apply to everybody, but that's sort of how it is worked for us.
Yeah. There you go. Merriam with the memes. Always. Them goobs.
Gooblins. Hoover and Gooblins.
When we doing Cribs Newkirk edition.
Oh, yeah.
Before we move, which hopefully will be fairly soon, we will definitely do that. We'll take you guys around and show you where we've lived in a little more detail. Now, once we're moving and we know that like the crazy Hellier stalkers won't know exactly where we sleep at night.
Yeah. Don't murder me. Please don't murder me. I don't want to be murdered.
What else here? I think that
let's do one more question.
Let's do one.
Yeah, scroll down. Let's see if there's a newer question at the bottom.
Okay.
You're going in the wrong direction. What are you doing?
I know. I'm going. We can throw puck wudgies on the euphonauts goblin pile too, for sure. Absolutely. Who did the voiceover for the dude in season 1? Some dude on Fiverr.
Yeah.
Where are we moving to? We're staying in the Cincinnati area. Season 3. Need it.
Are you looking for like
Have you done any more work at the God Helmet? Tons.
Yes.
If you're a museum member, you can go back and see tons of live
Greg had a bad time.
investigations, including one where I had
Greg
a very
had a real
bad
bad
time
time.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. What else here? How do we become museum members? Go to patreon.com/paramuseum. That's how you can take part in Phenomenacon.
Yeah.
Phenomenacon.
That was such a good segue. Thank you for that segue.
Phenomenacon is happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 40 hours, over 40 hours of lectures by some of the biggest names in the paranormal. Parapsychologists from all over the world.
Amazing people.
Ritual magicians.
Musicians.
Cryptozoologists.
Researchers,
Ufologists.
witches.
Tarot professionals.
Academics. Doctors.
It is the weirdest collection of academics and professional weirdos.
Yes.
That you're bound to find anywhere.
Yes.
And if you're a museum member, that's how you can
You're already
take
in.
part in Phenomenacon. That's your tickets. $15 for 3 days of amazing lectures and presentations and short films and screenings.
And our wit.
And
Does that count?
And our wit, our rapist wit.
That sounds terrible.
That's a Dumb and Dumber joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, see you later.
See you later. Anyway, come out to Phenomenacon this weekend.
Yes.
It's the cheapest paranormal event you're ever gonna attend.
It's gonna be
every
really fun.
seat's a VIP.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a blast.
Very important person without wearing pants.
Yeah, come and hang out. And there are actual, Carl's right, there are ritual musicians.
Ritual
as well.
musicians. Very cute.
This is a good question here. Let's see here. If you want to join Phenomenacon first, go to phenomenacon.com or patreon.com/paramuseum. You'll find all the information there. You can see all of these wonderful speakers and more. It's only $15. And you also get access to 3 years worth of content.
That's true.
Including artifact write-ups, exclusive videos, live investigations.
Lots of investigations of me getting scared and doing what I call the fear poops.
Classes that Dana's taught on witchcraft and the occult. And if you're lucky, access to Magic of the Month.
Yes, we will have some openings throughout the weekend.
All kinds of stuff. But I did have one question here. I think Ashley asked it. Let's see. What's she?
Oh,
what's
I think
it here?
I know what you're going to talk
Where's
about.
it at?
Of course you're going to end it on this.
First time caller, long time listener. How do we get
West
the
of the Rockies.
adrenochrome out of babies again?
Oh,
What's the
God.
method?
Everybody
listen,
plug your ears. If you have dogs, get them away from your...
people are always asking how we stay looking so young.
Turn
And
your TVs down.
The answer is adrenochrome. If you're not familiar with it, it's very popular
Somebody
within
actually
conspiracy theories.
Someone accused me of drinking adrenochrome
They did.
on Twitter.
I should also say I'm just actually joking right now. We don't actually drink adrenochrome.
No.
Because I know that there are people watching who will take it seriously and they will cut this
Yeah.
segment
We're
out.
going to be in an episode of
Infowars.
InfoWars and be like, those Hellier people are drinking adrenochrome.
But adrenochrome is harvested from, I believe it's the spinal cord of
Oh my God, no, it's the brain.
the brainstem
Yeah.
of babies, scared babies.
It's horrible.
The Hollywood elite are alleged to drink
Yep.
it, at least if you're in
sure
the
you're
right
going to
conspiracy corners. The problem is adrenochrome only really has the right punch if you...
It's spicy. It's only spicy.
It's like James Bond, right? How does he like his martinis? Shaken,
Oh my God. This
not
is
stirred.
terrible.
So if you really want the highest quality adrenochrome, you have to scare the babies first before you crack them open and start drinking them. So what you really have to do is you gotta shake them. You gotta shake them, baby. You gotta yell at it. You go, baby. Get demonstrating how you harvest it. That's the proper way.
Well, we learned something new today.
Give me your brain juice!
Okay, you're good. Stop. Everybody learned something new. Everybody's dogs ran out of the room real fast.
Yeah, you have to. You got to get them. You got to get them so scared that they do that thing where they're like,
no. That's too visual.
And then you
don't. Your lizard tongue comes out. Your eyeballs blink.
You don't have another one of those you can crack. You crack it open just like a fresh LaCroix.
Yeah, we're like walking around like this. The wink, the wink.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how you.
So you, if anything, you learned something today.
That's how you
harvest
your adrenochrome.
Yep.
By shaking those babies.
Shaking those babies.
You gotta shake them up!
You got it.
You gotta yell at them on their face!
Stop. Everyone's deaf now.
Good.
All right, we're done.
That's it.
So thanks for hanging out with us for 2.5 hours today.
This was fun. We should do. I'd say we should do
all across our social media platforms.
I know.
From Twitter. From Twitter.
We still got like 500 people watching.
No Twitter, right?
No, it's on Twitter.
Is it Twitter?
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah.
All the other places.
Yeah.
Here tonight to listen to us ramble and Greg scream about shaking babies.
There's more of this in the museum.
Yes, there's a lot of this in the museum.
I know I've said it a lot, but seriously, we live stream all the time in the museum.
We do.
And it's actually it's less about promoting Phenomenacon, and it's more about like let's do a remote viewing session looking for Terry Wrist.
We do crazy. We send Tyler Strand into the woods alone.
He does
he didn't
Bigfoot
go alone.
hunts.
He brought his monster squad with
and
him,
we all vote on what he needs to take as offerings to Bigfoot.
He had to lug a whole backpack full of offerings for
and Bigfoot. A watermelon.
And a watermelon.
Inside joke for still searching.
We do all sorts of fun, crazy
We do
stuff.
screenings of sizzle reels that we've shot for various production companies that are the worst things you've ever seen. Never meant for the public. We do that with we invite people like Tenny and Carl and Connor and
we do
Tyler.
Game nights. We bring
interactive game nights.
Bring Tenny on and make him play games until he gets bored and leaves.
Yeah.
We do all sorts of crazy stuff.
All kinds of fun stuff. Live investigations. We go to places like Waverly Hills for the entire night and take you guys around with us. And then we do write-ups on all the new items in the museum. So things that people send us that they say are haunted or cursed, or even things that are very supernaturally significant. We have actual drafts of books that like John Keel has written. Yeah. So like his actual drafts, we have pieces of Betty Hill's dress.
There's also a big community of amazing people.
That's the best part.
Friendly, amazing, hilarious, wonderful weirdos in the best way possible. We mean weirdos, the best way possible.
Term of endearment.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
we have a lot of weird fun.
Yeah, if you want to hang out, if you want to come to Phenomenacon, join the museum, phenomenacon.com. We're going to be promoting it like crazy on all of our social media over the next couple weeks. Think you'll dig it. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Thanks for 11/11.
I know we don't normally do public live streams.
Just totally ignores me.
Make a wish.
11/11. Okay, I'm done.
Great.
Thanks. I needed to interrupt you so I could make sure everyone knew it was 11/11.
Oh, God. I want a book club. We do have a book club.
We do have a book club.
Yeah, we just finished our first book. We're
waiting till after Phenomenacon to do the next one.
We'll do the next one.
The book's already picked out though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the book's picked out. Everybody's probably got it by now. We're all just waiting to start. So there's all kinds of that stuff happening. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Follow some of the people that are going to be speaking at Phenomenacon on their socials.
One last time.
If you don't follow us on our socials, come and follow us on our socials.
I mean, if you're here, you already do, probably. Unless this was shared to you by somebody.
I mean, follow us on our personal socials.
One last
Greg?
time.
What are you doing?
One last time.
Yeah.
In case anybody
there you go.
just tuned in. That's how you can find out more about Phenomenacon.
Thank you so much for hanging with us tonight, listening to us ramble, talking about weird stuff. Thank you for being wonderful, weird people who are already following us on social media, so already supporting us and giving a crap about us, which is kind of nice to have people give a crap about you.
We'll see you guys at Phenomenacon this weekend.
Yes.
We'll see you guys probably on TV pretty soon. We'll see you guys in a bunch of new stuff.
In your dreams,
We'll
maybe.
see you in your dreams.
See you in your nightmares. Your daymares.
If you're lucky or unlucky, depending on who it is that shows up.
Your nightmares, your daymares. We'll be in both.
Daymares. All right, everybody. We will talk to you guys very soon. Come to
Good night.
Phenomenacon. We'll see you there.
Have a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody.
Oh, wait.
Oh my God, what?
You gotta shake those babies! You gotta